So let's just get some names. My name's Mikey. What's your name?
Olive.
Olive and
Jean.
and
Bella.
and
Eric.
none of you are loud enough. Let me turn you all up. Whoa, maybe not that much.
Quite loud enough then.
Okay, so let me just try that again. So it's Olive
Yeah.
and
Jean.
Jean and Bella and Eric
Lorraine.
and
Esther.
Malachi.
come a bit closer.
Malachi.
Come close. I mean, it's raining. You don't need to be that far away. It's one of those. Plus, I'm just wearing a Hawaiian shirt, so I need the warmth of people. And
Alison,
welcome. And what's your name?
Isabel.
Isabel, come and sit. Come and sit over here. Come and sit on one of the seats. Take part in this. So, has anyone got anything they want to start off with? Any subjects? We need a topic.
Weather. The rain.
What do you want to say about the weather?
How awful it is. Why is it happening?
Okay, does everyone agree with Alison that it's awful weather?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
I mean, what should we do? Should we actually... Well, you like it?
I like it.
Why?
Because it's better because no one turns up for football.
Okay, so you got a bit more space on the football pitch.
Positive spin.
What's that?
That's one positive spin.
Okay, I mean, yesterday actually we were talking a little bit about the power of positive thinking.
Oh God.
Should we be thinking positively about this? You still having...
This is also like sliding about on the...
You need to lock it on the other side. Remember I showed you that switch on the other side?
Oh yeah, got it.
And you need to... Sorry about this, few technical things. We started in a bit of a rush. Anyway, so we're talking about the weather. Do we need to think more positively about the weather? And we've got some new faces over here. What's your name?
Yes. Isabel.
Oh, yeah.
Tom. Luke.
That's right. Okay. So, should we be thinking more positively, or should we just be wallowing in the misery of this weather? What do people think? Should we have a bit of a wallow session?
Both.
Is it? What's that?
Both.
Both. Okay. A bit of both. A bit of positive thinking. What?
Yeah, you should be like, it's raining and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
There's no point being really negative about
Is there anything we can do about it? Do we agree with Eric? Is there anything we can do about the rain?
No. We can try and stay like intense and
Yeah. That
out
would
with
be a
rain
little
umbrellas.
intense, wouldn't it?
Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
I have to do that. I've got like a quota that I have to get through every day. Yeah, 4 more in this session. So should we just cover over the whole of this area so we don't have an exposed outdoor area? Would that work? Like some... No?
Need some outdoor area.
You need to have some outdoor area, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
it. You should have like, if they had a really, really big budget, they could have one of those things that they have at football stadiums, so they have like the extendable roofs. But that would have to be really expensive.
Okay, like a huge dome.
Yeah.
Could you have a huge dome and everything inside the dome? Okay, good. Was he going to say something? Jean? No? Okay. I mean, how do we make the best of this weather situation then? Should we just postpone the festival and come back next week?
Yes.
What do people think about that? Postpone and come back next... I can't actually make it next week. I'm at another festival. But that's okay. I'm sure you'll have fun without... Can we What's that?
Refund and postpone.
You think you should get a refund? Okay. I mean, what do people think about that? Should refund? Weather-based refunds? Anyone?
No.
No?
And
No?
just keep the festival going now.
Okay. How do you deal with all this rainy weather though?
Just stay under tent.
Just stay under tents. Okay, I'm not going to make an under tents joke. Come and get involved in this. We're trying to make the best of this situation, but I feel like we should go for like a depressive kind of wallow about the bad weather. Come and sit down, come and get involved in this.
I feel like I should have a young one with me.
Okay, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. Just another technical thing. We'll just get busy with the gaffer tape. Tape the cable to things, and it won't get stretched. It's kind of just. Where is the gaffer tape? I don't know. Anyway, oh, you got it. Okay, so what was your name?
I'm Ben.
Ben. Okay. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not very good at wallowing in kind of like. Yeah.
I mean, like, the weather, it's okay to have a bit of rain because over the past few weeks where I live, it's been really sunny.
Where is that?
Like Manchester.
Okay, so it's been dry there. It's been dry there, so actually you need a bit of rain. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's a very, very good point.
Yeah?
Yeah, we do need a bit more rain, don't we, to keep everything growing and green and lush, but maybe a couple of days later would have been good.
Okay, so rain is good when it comes at the right time, when we're when is a good time to rain? Come and sit down, come and sit. We've got a new face to the table over here. What's your name?
Will.
When is it? What's that? Was that a point over here? When is it a good time for it to rain?
In the evening, when we're in bed.
Okay, in the evening. Okay, could you?
Night.
At night. Okay, yeah.
When the grass turns yellow, I think when the grass turns yellow, it's a good sign that you need a little bit of rain, get it green again.
So we've already got green grass. So this rain maybe came a bit too early. Is
A
that
bit
what
too
you're
early, I think, and it's a bit too long as well. I think long grass and rain is never
Yeah.
a good mix.
Should they have mowed the lawn? This is a new subject, really. Do you think that someone should have come up with a mower? Bit of a finer grass. What do people think? Could the grass be a bit shorter here?
It's alright.
Yeah.
I think it's alright. They've done a good job.
Yeah. They've done a good job. Yeah.
It's not that long.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it could be shorter,
Yeah.
and that would be better, but I think it's okay like
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we've done the weather thing. I feel. Yeah.
Anything.
Nothing.
No.
No. We could talk about nothing as well, I suppose.
I want to know what people want to do now it's raining. Have your plans changed, or are people still carrying on with what they planned on doing yesterday, or are you just looking for somewhere for a bit of cover?
Okay. Has it changed your plans? Were people going to do something different?
No.
No? Yeah. Olive?
I wanted to go on the big wheel, but my dad said I could only go on if I already had a wet bottom.
Right. Okay. So you have to get wet first, basically. Okay. I mean, that's the thing. Once you get wet, you can't get more wet. I suppose that's the thing.
I play football in the rain.
You play football in the rain. Was that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, are we a bit too kind of, a bit, I don't know. Are we worried about getting wet too much? Does it do any harm to us getting wet?
I think it doesn't make a difference if you're at a festival, but in day-to-day life, like you wouldn't want to turn up to work looking like this when you're drenched out. But I think at a festival it's alright to get a bit wet.
I mean, it's you've got a kind of Tropic Thunder look going on.
I do at the minute, yeah. This is I just give up trying to control the hair or the weather, so you just got to embrace it.
I mean, I don't know, are we making too much about the rain? Should we be enjoying the rain more? How do you enjoy the rain? Anybody got any ideas about how to enjoy the rain?
Sing.
What's that?
She said turn into a duck.
Turn into a duck. Okay, we've got the science tent over there. They can help you with that.
Do a rain dance.
Okay. What is a rain dance? Can you explain that a little? What is it?
Demo?
No.
I mean, what is a rain dance? Bring more rain? Do we really want that?
Yes.
Okay. Shouldn't we have a sun dance rather than a rain dance? Okay. Are we enjoying the rain enough? What do people think?
We're
No?
not enjoying the rain.
How do you enjoy the rain?
Do a rain dance.
Okay, do a rain dance. Yeah?
I don't think there's any way to enjoy rain because I just hate it.
You can't enjoy rain. Do people agree with Olive? You can't enjoy rain?
You can enjoy rain if you have a different perspective from the people who hate rain.
Okay.
Some people like splashing in puddles and some people just sit under cover and hate the rain. And they're
Okay,
just like,
so you have to have the right perspective. Can you help Olive with the perspective if she wants to?
Yes.
Do you want to enjoy the rain?
No.
No, okay. So, yeah. What's that?
When life gives you lemons,
Yeah? When life gives
make
you
lemonade.
Okay.
You know that saying,
Can
don't
we
you?
make lemonade from the rain?
I think people need to be a little bit more positive as well. I think we're getting a little bit negative as a
Yeah,
society, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. What do people think? Are we getting too negative? Do we need a bit more positivity?
Need more sarcasm.
More sarcasm.
More sarcasm.
More sarcasm. Is sarcasm a way to enjoy a negative situation? Like rain, you could say,
Yeah.
nice weather for duck. You say yes.
Yeah.
So sarcasm's like a tool to...
You can use sarcasm, then use sarcasm, because half the people in the room will find it funny, and the one who you're doing sarcasm to won't.
Okay, can you be sarcastic about this weather? What would you say?
Give me half an hour.
Okay. We'll give you half an hour, come back to you. Anyone else, any sarcastic comments about the rain?
Wow, what a beautiful time it is outside.
Okay. Yeah.
What a lovely day it is today.
Okay, yeah, nice delivery. Okay, so sarcasm, a great tool to enjoy the wet weather. I mean, it's not as simple as positive and negative, I don't think, Will. It's more like, I don't know, I think there's something about, about dwelling in the
pizza, that's how you can enjoy it.
Eat pizza. Okay. Well, yesterday we did an experiment where if we just thought about pizza and thought positively about pizza, pizza would come. And it did. It came to Olive, I believe. Oh, there was that pasta bake, but no pizza came to me. But maybe we could try it again and see if we can get pizza. Everyone thinks about pizza. I mean, Will got a pizza last night. It worked for you, didn't it? Okay, so we're talking about positive thinking, then positively, negatively, positive thinking. Is there anything else we need to think more positively about apart from the weather? We've got a new face over here. What's your name?
Thomas.
Thomas, welcome. Are you thinking positively or negatively about the weather?
Positive.
Yeah. How? What are you thinking?
Like I'm thinking that it's going to be rain, stop, rain, stop, rain, stop.
Okay. So it's going to stop. Wait, it has stopped. Hey, let's have a big cheer. It's stopped raining. Let's have a round of applause for the weather. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so positive thinking. Do you think the positive thinking? Well, anyone else? How do we deal with the rain? We've got some new faces over here. What's your name?
Navi.
And what's your name?
Murdoch.
And what's your name?
Becky.
Did we get your name? I can't remember. What was it?
Esther. Esther.
Esther, that's right. Oh yeah. So.
Just go home to enjoy the weather.
Yeah.
Just go home.
Just go home.
Yeah. If it pulls it down for 2 days straight, then you might as well just go home because you got.
Should we just go home? What do people think? No. Okay, who says yes? We should go home. Okay, there's a couple of people. Some over here. Go home. Who says we should stay here and stick it out? Okay, why?
Because you can eat more sweets.
Okay, so there's sweets to be eaten. Yeah.
Because you don't need to go home just because of the weather, because you can, like I said before, if you look at the right perspective of the weather, then you'll get.
It's about having the right perspective then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because then you'll feel more positive that the pizza's going to come. Because if you go away, then the other people are going to go away. Then the pizza person will just go away with the pizza truck.
So if we all go home, nobody's going to get pizza. Okay. So this is a bit of a leave versus remain debate going on here.
I'm not again.
Yeah.
You
Again.
should just put a coat on and then
Just put a coat on. Yeah. And deal with it. Yeah. What about if you were overly optimistic and didn't bring a coat with you to the festival? Has anyone done that ever? Yeah.
You can do fun activities.
So you still do fun activities, there's still stuff to do, there's still things to happen. Are we enjoying the rain enough? Are we enjoying this festival?
Anyone who doesn't bring a coat to this festival is mad, because it's rained every year.
Okay, so anyone that didn't, what about if somebody that thought they brought the coat but then kind of rummaged through their bag and just found a cycling jacket, for example?
Who went a cycling jacket in the rain?
I'm not going to say. Okay, so we're talking about enjoying the rain. Most people want to remain in the rain. A few people want to go home. Anyone want to make the argument for going home? You wanted to go home, didn't you? Why?
Because at home, I think it's. I don't know. It's just. I just feel like rain is just rubbish.
Okay, so it's more. What is it? More cozy at home?
Yeah, and I mean, it's raining somewhere else, which will it still might be good for where we live.
Okay, so it could potentially can rain in other places, and that water will flow.
It's kind of. I'm kind of not sure because if you get. When I woke up this morning, I was really cold, so I could have woke up in my bed and then with my blanket. But then if I stay here, then I get to do more fun stuff than just sitting around watching TV all day.
Okay, so it's still more fun stuff. I mean, but what about rain-based activities? Could we have more rain-based activities here, like they're actually targeted towards rain?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like stuff that works better in the rain. Water sports, for example, yeah.
depends.
Any particular water sports that would work well?
Slide.
A slide, a water slide.
Mudslide.
What's that?
Mudslide.
A mudslide. Would that work, parents? Mudslides?
Yeah, but if they had one of them, then people could get injured if like they just made it like out of just a mudslide.
Okay, so there's an injury risk to a mudslide. I mean, is there enough like mud and water-based activities here? We've had the mud. A water fight?
Yeah, water fight.
Okay. Could you do that? Yeah.
We can do a water slide.
You like the water slide idea? Okay. So.
An umbrella parade.
An umbrella parade.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could have. How is that going to work? Do people like the idea of an umbrella parade? Has anyone here got an umbrella?
She has.
You got one? I mean, would you like to parade your umbrella? Come and sit down. Don't worry. It's, as I've said at the beginning, maybe you missed the beginning. This has been electrically tested. It's safe. 12 volts.
Hoping to go for a coffee.
Okay.
So I'll be back with my. I'll start the parade.
Okay, you're going to start the umbrella parade. What's your name?
Joanna.
Let's give Joanna a big round of applause for starting an umbrella. You can still have an umbrella parade without rain. We're talking about, are we actually working with the rain enough? Should we be doing more rain-based activities?
Okay.
Have you got?
Yes.
Have you got any ideas for rain-based activities?
No.
Okay. Jean?
Instead of like a water parade, you could have like an umbrella parade.
Yeah.
You could have like an umbrella dance.
An umbrella dance. That's a great idea.
People seem to be building boxes to put on their head to avoid the rain at the moment. I'm not sure what that's about. There's a couple over there as well. Does anyone know what that's about?
Yeah, it's a Minecraft. You're making Minecraft heads.
Okay, a Minecraft head. Okay, and you also stay out of the rain as well. I mean, I like this. I like this umbrella dance. I mean, maybe as well, you know, we could combine these things and have like an umbrella making workshop.
They could have a swimming pool because if you were you could have an outdoor swimming pool because if you were outside in a swimming pool and it was raining, it wouldn't really matter because you're in the water and then you're getting water on your head. So.
Okay, so a swimming pool. Are we dealing, you know, positively enough? Have we got enough rain-based activities here at the festival? Ballet, what were you going to say? We just had your hand up. No, was it? Yep.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Okay, but is that just because we haven't thought of them yet? I mean, there's the umbrella dance, there's the umbrella parade, umbrella making workshop.
We could do rain basketball.
How does that work?
Basketball, but in the rain.
Okay.
And it's probably one of the most enjoyable sports to do in the rain
because the ball bounces in the puddles.
I don't know if it'd bounce more or less.
Okay. Well, as I said, we've got the scientists in the science tents. Maybe they could tell us. Yep.
We could do something like get the ball in the umbrella or something.
Get what?
Like you could put all the umbrellas in a certain thing and stand behind a line or something, and throw balls in or something like that.
Okay, so it's kind of like a combination of the water fight and the umbrella parade.
I don't think we should have water-based activities because if people don't like water, then they won't have anything to do.
Do you not like water?
No.
Okay. Does anyone else not like water?
I hate it.
You hate water, yeah?
I'd rather bash orange juice.
You know, like he said, like play basketball in the rain, and then like the umbrella parade, it could just stop raining once you started it.
Okay. I mean, would it matter?
Well, if it's like raining basketball, then it wouldn't really be it, would it?
Okay. So the problem with the rain-based activities, it might actually stop raining. The cruel nature of nature. We've got a couple of spare seats. Come and get involved. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're talking about rain-based activities. Are we working with the rain enough? You know, we've got this rain. We're not working with it. We're working against it. We could have an umbrella dance, a water fight. What's going on? Are we doing enough with it? Mudslides we've heard about.
We could do a competition.
Yeah. How would it work?
Maybe we could get who could stay outside in the rain the longest.
Okay, so an endurance test. Anyone here think they could win that competition? Okay, if there's a few contenders here.
I think this is the 10th edition, and it's rained in like 9 of them. And if we started doing rain activities next year, it would be the one festival where it didn't rain at all.
Okay. I mean, wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be a benefit? I don't know. You have a point over here? Or has it gone now? We're talking about rain-based activities. What's the point here?
Well, if you're obsessed with your phone, you wouldn't like the rain because if rain touches a phone,
then the phone would start not working that much.
Okay, so one of the problems with rain is it's bad for phones.
Use the rain to charge the phones.
How do you do that?
I don't know, build a machine.
Build a machine to charge the phones in the rain. Yeah.
I think we should have a mud pie making competition.
A mud pie making competition, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what would the kind of categories be?
Biggest, obviously.
Yeah, biggest mud pie.
Yeah, best, but I don't know how.
Do you agree with this conjecture that we're not working with the rain enough?
Well, I mean, there's always fun to be had wherever, surely.
Okay, there's fun to be had wherever. Okay, I mean, but what about this? What's your name again?
Thomas.
Thomas is saying that rain and phones don't go together, and phones are an essential medium of having fun for people in this day and age.
Well, you shouldn't really use your phone as much because one, there's hardly any internet. Two, there's loads of things to do as well as looking at your phone.
Okay, so you think that might be a good thing that you can't get your phone out in the rain?
Yeah.
Okay. What do people think? I mean, should phones be more waterproof? Could we build a rain-powered charging device? What's your name again?
Carla.
Clara's saying we could have a rain-powered charging device. Use the energy of the rain to charge the phones. Once again, working with the rain instead of against it.
Well, you could either get like a waterproof case, or most of the new phones are waterproof anyway.
Okay, so phones are becoming waterproof, so they're actually working with the rain.
I mean, like, they should stop, like, going on the phones because loads of people are addicted to them, and I think if we had more activities, like rain activities, then they'd think they're fun and they'd get off their phones and they'd join
What does phone addiction look like? Okay. Okay, I mean, do people agree? Is there a problem with phone addiction? And yeah, we got come sit down. Can we get involved in this? What's it?
I think you should have an app for the festival on your phone.
Yeah.
Instead, because everybody comes around asking for a guide. Is there an app for the festival? Don't know, but I think if you had like a map where you could see what was going on.
When it's raining and you can't use
then you need a waterproof phone, don't you?
Okay.
Get a waterproof phone, like we were saying.
Well, what about the question of phone addiction that people are talking about?
But do you not think it improves life? I think if you all did, nobody had a phone anymore, the quality of life would go down as well. So I think it's got to be a sort of a bit of a balance.
So okay, is the phone actually an addictive thing? Does it bring quality to life?
No.
What do people think?
No.
Come and sit down, come and get involved in this. You say no, it doesn't bring quality.
No, because you just ignore your children because you're just going on the next feed, and they're constantly saying, well, I do, and they're constantly saying, Mummy, why are you on your phone? Can I have a cuddle?
Right,
and there's several times they've come for cuddles, and I've been on my phone and said, leave me, I'm working.
Can you get a cuddle? Can you get a cuddle app on the phone? Could you do like a
you
virtual
can't get a cuddle app, and you just feel massively guilty.
Okay. All right. So phones are separating the vital bond between mother and child. There's no phone. There's no cuddle app on the phone. So that what's happening? We're actually and maybe the rain's a good thing. Maybe instead you can have a cuddle in the rain.
I think you can say all these like bad things about Facebook stealing data and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Bad about phones. Phones are also bring other things to the world that are good. Like
what good things do they bring?
As in they have map apps so you can find your way home if you get lost.
Okay, so they've got useful things like map apps. Is the phone separating people, stopping the cuddles, or is it actually getting the person A to person B via the map so they can have a cuddle? So this is the debate here.
Well,
hang on, I'll come to you a sec.
Most people now, they just use their phone to like contact other people, so it's not exactly bad.
Okay, so they are contacting other people. Maybe they're actually coordinating the cuddles through the phone. What's the point over here?
Cuddles are the most important thing in life.
Okay, so cuddles are more important than phone. Okay, who says cuddles are more important? Who says phones are more important?
Both.
Okay, so it's a bit of both. What do people? Phones are more important. Cuddles more important. How do we prioritise this? Was there a point over here? What's the point here?
Phones are actually good because, like, say you were out on the road walking or something, and then you tripped over a rock and broke a body part.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just see a giant ambulance riding by, would you? So you would need to call 999.
Okay.
So they're actually really good.
Can you still do that with a broken body part?
Yeah.
Depends what. As
like
long
if
as it's
you
not
have
your
a broken,
finger.
as long as it's not your finger. Then
Okay. So we're talking about phones. Are phones actually a scourge of society, preventing cuddles, alienating our children? You're nodding. Or are they actually allowing us to find our children so that we can cuddle them? That's what we're talking about here, yeah?
I think both are quite important because hugs like make people happy and then phones.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to do stuff on it and so you're not so bored and
so it's a bit of both.
Around.
I mean, what's more important, the hugs or the phones?
Both.
Both are important, okay. Equally important, okay. Hugs or phones?
I think phones are de-skilling us a bit though, like the map apps and everything.
What do you mean de-skilling us?
Yeah, it's nice to have a map and it's nice to use it, and every now and then it's nice.
You mean a map on a phone?
No, just a normal map.
Isn't that a normal map?
No, well, because it's GPS, isn't it? It's directing you somewhere, whereas every now and then it's nice to get lost.
So what are you talking about as a normal map?
Well, one made out of paper.
A map? Okay, a map made out of paper, okay. Okay, so map made out of paper. Are we becoming de-skilled because we only know how to use a map on a phone, not a paper? Do you know how to use a paper map?
Yeah, because before phones were made, what did we use to get around when we were lost?
Okay, what did we? Well, this is exactly the question. How do you get around without a phone? Yeah.
We managed before. A
compass.
Yeah, a compass.
We're still alive.
Okay.
And your brains.
Okay, so this is the question: Are we deferring the art of map reading? Which is so basically. Can you explain this map? What a map is? This paper map thing?
It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, what does it look like?
Well, it's got lines on it showing roads and rivers and altitude, or it depends what sort of map. But
yeah, can you zoom in on it or?
Yeah, you could just get closer.
Okay. Okay, so it's a piece of paper with lines on it, and you use that to navigate your way around the world, or?
And you can put them up on the wall and look at them as well.
Okay. So, I mean, is that better than a phone? Yes. What do people think? You say yes?
I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, phones, when you're on them for too long, your eyes change.
Yeah.
And your eyes hurt.
Right.
But then, when you're looking at a map for that long, nothing bad happens to you.
Yeah, I guess that. There's a coffee. Ruby's got that silver coffee cup somewhere. We can put it in there. Anyway, we're talking about.
Cuddles versus phones.
Sorry.
Cuddles versus phones.
No, we brought in the thing about maps and de-skilling. Are these kids not going to have any skills? Or will they actually have different skills?
You got things like Scouts and Girl Guides and all that, where kids can go and learn about things like that.
Okay, so you can still learn about it.
So my son just said, "What do you do when you're bored?" And for me, I think we're not learning how to handle boredom anymore. We can't be bored. It's like we're not allowed to be bored. We don't know what to do.
So what are you saying, that you need to be bored?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a way of like how you.
Do people agree with that? Do you need to be bored?
It's how you learn. When you're bored, that's when you learn.
Okay, you learn when you're bored. Are people who agree with this? You don't.
No.
You don't think you need to be bored?
Well.
Hang on. Oh, Thomas?
Well, when you get bored,
Yeah.
you just basically, like, time will go slower then. And, like, so let's say you have a movie on, like, in an hour, and you're really bored, and then it'll feel like 2 hours, but then if you aren't bored, it'll just feel like a few seconds.
Okay, so basically time goes really slowly when you're bored. So, yeah, okay.
But if you're bored, that helps for you to get creative.
Does it? How?
Because to educate yourself, and you have to try and do it to yourself.
Okay, so you got to sort of you got to try and think of things to do.
Like count on phones all the time.
Okay, so if you're bored, you think of things to do, and then you're not as bored. I mean, what do people think? Do you need to be bored? No, you say no. Who says boredom is a good thing? Put your hand up if you think being bored is good. It's only really adults saying it, and you're saying being bored. Why is being bored good?
Because if you're bored, if you're bored and the world is so interesting, how could you be bored? Because all around you is green, and electronic doesn't count, but nature is nothing to get bored of. It's
okay, so is it possible even to get bored? Is it what you say? Is you saying you can't be bored?
It's possible to get bored, but you always get not bored in the
You
end.
always find something to find interesting. Okay, so what do people think? There's some people over here. You were saying it's good to be bored. I want to understand this because I think that's a bit strange. Why is it good to be bored?
Having nothing to do doesn't mean it's boring.
Okay.
Only boring people get bored.
Only boring people get bored. Okay, so how can it be good to be bored? It doesn't mean you're a boring person then if you get bored.
Sorry, I shouldn't have put my hand up. I've got a biscuit in my mouth.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it helps you to appreciate the good things. If at times you're bored,
yeah,
then if you had really exciting stuff to do all the time, it'd become less exciting.
Right.
So having a bit of downtime helps you to enjoy the up times.
So what you're saying is if there's nothing going on ever, then even something really sort of insignificant, like a bird flying past, will be like, wow, look, there's a bird! Okay, so it helps you appreciate sort of other stuff, yeah?
I think creativity often comes from boredom as well.
Yeah.
I think, you can invent new things,
Yeah.
I remember hearing about somebody once who was a writer and she loved getting bored, and then it helped her, think of the next great thing to write.
Okay, so sometimes you actually need to be bored to think of new things. Has anyone thought of any good stuff when they've been bored?
I'd just like to say, having nothing to do is actually calming and relaxing. And and turning off the electronics on the weekend, our weekend just gets longer and longer and longer because it becomes morning, mid-morning, midday, afternoon, and the evening.
So you're lengthening
out the weekend.
Okay, so actually if you're bored, your weekend lasts a lot longer.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go to school for what's that?
Would you rather have a weekend where you're actually doing something, or a long weekend where there's nothing to do?
I'm going to turn the mirror on you, Eric. What would you rather have? Would you rather have like a instant weekend where you've got loads of activities and it all goes really quickly, or a long, slow weekend?
A fast weekend with a lot of activities, because what's the point of having a long weekend when you've got nothing to do with it?
Okay, so you fast weekend. Okay, so we're talking about, is it better to have a long, slow, boring weekend and then you don't have to go to school or to work for those people that go to work for a long, long time, or is it everything happens really quickly and then suddenly you're back at school? What do people think?
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say maybe you could split the time in half.
Yeah. Split in half, a 50-50.
One day you do it really. One day you have really fun day, and then the other day you have a really bored day.
Okay, so you can have one day of each. Yeah.
I mean, I would rather have a long, slow weekend because it's good to have a rest sometimes.
Okay.
If you're tired from school or from work.
So you get more of a rest if you go long and slow. Okay, so where are we going to take this conversation? Should we have a boredom app on the phone? So that we could, an app that actually makes you bored, so that you can appreciate the time better. I mean, where do we want to go with this conversation? Should we make it more boring so that we just slow things down and enjoy and appreciate stuff like that cloud over there? I don't know.
No, because if you have a bored app on your phone, then you're not going to be bored because you're going to be looking at that app.
Okay, so you can't possibly, that's kind of like, you can't have a bored app. What do people think? Could they have a boredom app on the phone?
If you're bored, you just play board games, because that's basically because board games are basically for people that are bored, because...
Yeah. Okay. So bored people play board games. I mean, maybe we could play some board games now and we'd appreciate things a bit more. Yeah.
Well, I would say when you're bored, you could start talking to your family.
Okay, that's an easy. What would you say to your family if you did get bored?
Maybe
you
could chat about say what's your favourite stuff and all that.
Okay, so you could say what's your favourite stuff. If you're bored, maybe you could talk to your family. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do people think?
What do you think, Novi?
Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Would you like to talk to your family more?
It's a good thing because you get to spend more time with them, and if you just keep on playing on your phone, guess what?
But what have you got anything to say to your family?
Yeah, like say what you did at school today, or what you did in the holidays, or anything.
Okay, so it's generally accepted that that we need more time to speak to our families, but what would we say? We've got, talk about your favourite stuff, talk about what you did at school.
Oh, scientists have already proved that phones are bad for the human body.
Yeah.
So, but not many. But not many people are listening, so I think we need to listen to the people that know more.
Okay, well, I mean, there's a lot there in this statement. I mean, I don't know where we want to go with this. Is it that we're not listening to the people that know stuff? How are they bad? Why are people not listening? Well, okay, that's a good one. Why are people not listening to the experts?
Yeah, because of addiction.
Okay, so people are addicted to the phones, they're not listening to the experts. Do we agree with that? Do people...
You can't just say that phones are bad for you, because everything's bad for you. Cheese is bad for you, chocolate's bad for you. But we've been having them for centuries.
But do people listen more about cheese and chocolate than they do about phones?
There is probably a lot more.
I don't think you get the psychological, like, you know, when you can't get instant access to something, and you do get very much psychological and biological reactions.
So it is an addiction. Are we? Is there really an addiction problem with phones? What's your name?
Edgar.
Was it? Edgar. Edgar's saying that we're addicted to phones, and we're so addicted we're not willing to listen to the experts that are telling us it's bad for us.
When also if you talk to people more than just looking at a phone, then they'll know what you've been up to, rather than every day you're quite annoyed because every minute they ask you, what have you been doing, what have you been doing, what are you doing?
Okay, so it'll make conversation better in a way, yeah.
Well, I'm saying that phones are basically the worst things they could go on, because there's loads of other stuff I can do that aren't bad for everybody. Like, let's say, playing outside, going on a bike ride, all fun activities instead of going on a phone. But like. Okay,
I'm gonna roll with that. Are phones the worst thing to happen to kids? That's what Thomas says. And you say no. Let's say, who thinks they're the worst thing ever to happen to kids? The phones. Edgar says. Thomas says it. You. What's your name again? Sorry, I forgot.
Jessica.
Jessica, are you saying it's the worst thing to happen to kids?
Well, the worst thing to happen to kids is to get banned from a phone.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Our phone is getting banned from a phone. The worst thing to. What is the worst thing to happen to kids? Is it phones or getting banned from a phone?
So there was, I can't remember where it was, but there was a boy who was so addicted to his computer games that he didn't go to the toilet.
Right.
And he ended up in hospital.
Right. Did it
really, oh yeah, pretty much. He was so ill because he just did not even bother to go to the toilet.
All right. Okay. So that is a severe case of phone addictions. Are phones the worst thing to ever happen to kids, or is getting banned from your phone the worst thing to happen? That's what we're talking about now.
I don't think it's the worst thing to happen to them.
No.
Like getting a phone, because most people have a phone. Adults have phones.
Yeah. Is it the worst thing to happen to adults?
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, so you're saying no, it's not the worst thing. What are people?
Isn't there something in every generation that people think kids shouldn't be doing?
What
and
was
this
it?
is latest
what was
one.
it in your generation?
Well, it's so long ago. I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
But there were things that were banned at school.
Yeah.
Conkers were banned.
So, I mean, obviously they didn't have this technology back in those days, like microphones.
People had conker injuries.
Okay, so some of the older people, were we having the same discussion? So I'm going to the older people here. Were we having the same discussion about other things? Tamagotchi. Okay. What's that?
Ouija boards were banned.
Were banned. What was a Ouija board?
Ouija board was when the ghosts used to come and move the board game.
Okay, so it was like contacting with the spirit.
With the spirit world. That was banned.
Okay. What things were banned? We're going into history now because we need to get a historical context on the phone thing. In the old days, other things were banned. What was banned when you were at school?
Banned when I was at school.
So far, we've got Tamagotchis, Conkers, and Ouija boards. What was banned when you were at school, or did they have school back then?
Yeah, I don't even remember. It's so long ago.
They didn't have school.
Knee-high socks with logos on. It had to be plain coat, no coats with logos.
Logos were banned. Okay.
Fidget spinners are banned.
Fidget spinners. Back in the day when you were at school, does anyone remember fidget spinners? They were banned. Yeah. Okay. Anyone? What was that? Some of the older people here. What was banned when you were at school?
There was an advert for Tango where the man went like that on someone's cheeks, and that got banned in our school.
Okay.
Yeah, being tangoed.
Okay. Being tangoed got banned in your school. What was banned when you were at school?
I can't remember. Sorry.
Okay. And what about this man here? What was banned when you were at school?
A long time ago.
Okay. You can't remember. Okay.
Yeah. Hamsters.
Hamsters were banned.
Yeah, they were banned from my school.
Okay. Wow.
They used to have, yeah.
Okay, I mean, are hamsters banned? What's that?
People used to put them in pockets and take them in.
So they're a bit like phones, really, in a way. But people had hamsters instead of phones. Okay, yeah.
In my school, toys are banned, except if you're bringing them to our school club. But once I took it out to play, and my friend said, "No, why have you got that in your pocket? You shouldn't have that." But
have you ever taken a hamster in your pocket?
It was basically a hamster plushie.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
We had Walkmans banned when I was at school.
You had what?
Walkmans.
Walkmans. Okay, so what's a walk? Can you explain what a Walkman is?
No.
Okay. Can anyone explain what?
Has anyone seen Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah. Do you know what's his name? Star-Lord. He carries a Walkman, and in there is a cassette, and that's how we used to listen to our music through headphones.
Okay, so it's a music listening device.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a small version of a radio.
I think compasses were banned at one point.
Compasses, yeah.
Because everyone used to stab each other with them. Do you remember?
Okay. Yeah.
Those.
Okay, do they still have compasses at school? Yeah. Do you still have compasses at school?
Yeah. For maths.
What's that?
For maths.
For maths. So you know what it is? Yeah. You don't do it on a phone now. You haven't got a compass app now.
Well, you could get a compass app.
You can get a compass app. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so they've still got those. The kids know what those are.
I think my mum's phone should be banned.
Your mum's phone should be banned. Why?
Yeah. Because she doesn't give me enough hugs.
Okay, so we're back to that. That's what started off this whole conversation, really. Yeah.
Space dust was banned when I was at school.
Okay, what is space dust?
It's like popping candy, but more poppy.
Okay, so like poppy candy, yeah.
Sometimes rats, because they cause the plague and they eat all the food.
Okay, so this is going further back. Rats were actually banned because they cause plague. Well, okay, so anyone old enough to have rats banned at their school? Yeah. Well, rats banned at your school? So we're talking about what was banned at your school. In a way, it's a history lesson. We're finding out all things like Walkmans.
I'm pretty sure that no rats at school is just a given, really.
Yeah, that's banned. It's a given. It's that,
Being hit with a stick.
Yes, corporal punishment was banned while I was at school.
Okay, right.
So when I was at primary school, the headmaster could hit you with his slipper, but then they said not allowed anymore.
Okay.
No.
And when was that?
That was probably about 1983, 2.
Okay, so hitting children was banned in 1982. Okay, does anyone else remember that?
My sewing teacher had a ruler, a wooden ruler, and if you weren't able to sew in a straight line, she would get your hand and she'd put it on the table and she'd slap it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And I was only 6.
Okay, wow, okay.
Being left-handed used to be banned at school.
Okay, all right. So we're talking about what was banned in school now and what was banned. Will people be saying the same thing about phones in 30 years' time? Like, oh my God, phones were actually banned in school. Can you believe it? Phones are actually banned. Will they be saying that in 30 years' time? Well, no. When you're this, what's your name?
Richard.
When you're Richard's age, will you be sort of having this same conversation about phones, saying, "When I was at school, phones were banned"? Jean, give us a final thought if you're going to go.
I was going to the toilet.
Okay, we come back. Okay, right. So where are we going to go with this conversation? We've gone historical, really, and we're finding out loads about the history.
When I was at school, teachers were banned from making you stand with your hands on top of your head.
Yeah.
In the corner.
Really?
If you'd done something you shouldn't be doing.
Okay, so
I never did anything I shouldn't be doing.
Okay, so you were good, but other people got made. Does that happen now? Do you have to stand with your head in the corner, if you're facing the corner, with your hands on your heads? Does that happen anymore in schools? We've got some free seats here on the table, so come forward. There's no age limit on Talkaoke. In fact, we're actively soliciting the older people because we need to find out about this history. Are you off, Eric?
Yes.
Give us a final thought before you go. I'll come to you in a second, Edgar.
Phones should not be banned.
I mean, do you think we'll be having the same conversation in 30 years' time? We'll be saying, wasn't it strange that phones were banned? A bit like what they're saying about what was banned at your school? Hitting people. A bit like that?
Yeah, probably.
That the idea of banning phones was so kind of weird. It was a bit like hitting people at school. Come and sit down, come and get involved in this. We need to know we're kind of, in a way, it's kind of a bit like school, but more fun because we're having a history lesson about what used to happen at school. Maybe I'll do a quick round of names. I was going to come to you, Edgar, so let me get your point, then we'll get some names.
Oh, I think that was also another thing that banned, but no one here was alive when it happened.
Yeah.
I read this non-fiction book in the school library.
Yeah.
And it said about in Stone Age.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to kill animals that had more than 3 legs.
Really? Okay. That's quite a number of animals then. Okay, so you're only allowed to kill three-legged or less animals in the Stone Age. So we're really hearing some history. Let's just get a round of names, and we've got a couple of spare seats. Come forward. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. But you've not got a sleeping child, so you can come forward. And you two, let's get some names. What's your name?
Ben.
Ben and
Olive.
And
Thomas.
Jessica.
Joanna.
Elijah.
Norvi.
Hello.
Maja.
And
Belina.
what's your name?
Celeste.
Carla.
Edgar.
Richard.
And
James's dad.
Okay, James's dad. Well, you can be anyone you want to be here. You can be James's dad if you want to. But
was it the case that if you could only kill animals with 3 legs or less, if you chopped a leg off, you could then kill it?
Okay. Could it be a 2-stage process? And I mean, this comes to a wider point: is that you can always circumvent the rules, and that's what people will end up doing, don't they? When it comes to banning phones at school, people circumvent the rules, don't they? Yep.
I'm saying phones should be banned from school.
Yeah.
And from eating at the table because my dad Ben.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with his phone. He's on it.
Yeah.
Whenever it's time for families to speak.
Okay.
He's always on it.
Okay. Well, normally we don't like to get into these kind of personal discussions. We like to generalise because, we don't want to kind of, cause a beef. Yeah.
So Celeste said that.
Yeah.
What did you say about it? There can be a good thing because you might need to do some work on them.
Okay, so you can do what? So, are you doing work on the phone when you're at the dinner table?
No, just reading the news, catching up on the cricket. Okay,
but isn't that kind of important in a way? So you can tell your family what's happening in the cricket?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, I guess people are always on their phones. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it good to actually find out a bit of news? Yeah?
Actually, you know how Edgar said you're only allowed to kill animals with 3 or less legs?
Yeah.
That means killing people wouldn't be illegal because people are creatures.
Okay, so I guess all birds and people. is basically what you've got left. T-Rex, yes. Cheers.
Do you know what Elijah said when the things chop off the legs? Maybe they will die or not.
Okay, so they might actually die from having their leg chopped off, which would be a complicated legal situation. In a way, we're talking about legalities now. If you ban things, there's a whole complex legal structure going on.
Well, is prohibition ever the answer? Should we teach people to be responsible more than banning it?
I mean, you're talking about, we have the conversation about phones, but are you thinking about something else as well?
Well, just in general, yeah. I'm not sure that saying
is banning things ever a good idea?
Well, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Often it's like forbidden fruit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are people then more interested in it because it's banned?
Okay, Olive, give us a final thought before you go. Should anything at all be banned?
No.
No? Is that your final thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you got any other final thoughts for those people leaving? What do you think of Ben's idea? Should we actually not ban anything?
Yeah, live and let live. Do what you
Live and let live. Okay, so it's about responsibility. Let's have a final thought from those that are going. Final thought.
I kill a bee, kill people.
What's that?
I kill a bee, kill people.
You love the people.
I kill a bee, kill people.
We want to kill people.
Kill people. Okay, we're back to that again. Yeah.
Phones should be banned, I think.
Okay. Shouldn't it just be a case of people being more responsible with their phones? That's what Ben's saying. You can't ban things because people will just do it anyway.
Maybe we have like a time limit on it. So what would happen is like the government would do this thing where, you know, after like 6 o'clock it just blacks out and you can't use your phone anymore, right? Unless it's an emergency call.
Right. Like India. Is that how it works in India? Okay, so I mean, just before you, I know you're going off, but does it work in India? Is actually just to give people?
Electricity goes off at 9 o'clock.
Does it give people a rest? Does it mean that they have got a chance to get bored? They've just got to go to sleep.
And they relax.
Okay.
And they wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning at crack of dawn.
Is the electricity back on at that point?
I'm not sure.
Going in.
Okay, yeah, because you don't get up at 4 o'clock. Okay, right. So, sorry, didn't mean to point there. Okay, so that's another insight. Is it worth banning things? Could he just turn off the electricity? Is there ever a point in banning? Come and sit down, come and get involved in this. So that's what we're talking about at the moment. Lorraine?
Just going back to not banning anything, they've banned single-use plastics here. It's the most litter-free festival I've been to.
So you think that's a good ban?
It's a good ban.
Okay.
But if we couldn't ban anything, they couldn't enforce that.
Okay, so like single-use plastics, says the man with the. I've got this. It's just for the sake of controversy. Yeah, I can use it again. I will use it again. And the only reason I've got it as well, I should say, is because somebody nicked my metal water bottle at the last festival. But anyway, but in that case, Lorraine says banning plastic is a good ban.
Banning things is good, but not banning everything is.
Okay, what would you like to ban?
Who's Lorraine?
Oh, what's your name? Sorry?
Joanna.
Joanna, sorry. Sorry, that was somebody about 2 hours ago called Lorraine. But anyway,
Love Island.
yeah, Celebrity Love Island should
I'd like
be banned.
to ban that,
okay, yeah. So we're talking about, is it ever a good idea to ban things? Ben has said, there's no point in banning things because people will do it anyway, like bringing in plastic bottles, for example. But if you just teach people to be responsible, then that's better than banning stuff. But what about the plastics? Is it better to ban plastics? That's been quite a good idea.
Smoking outside, banning smoking seems to have helped enormously.
So you think that's a good ban as well?
Either I do think it's better to make people responsible and not doing, but it seems to be a bit of both. Maybe there's a balance to be struck.
Okay.
Nudge, isn't it?
Nudge, yeah.
So the smoking ban, if you're not allowed to do it in the most convenient place, you already shift a load of people away from the idea because you make it a bit harder. People turn away from it.
Okay, so you sort of with a smoking ban, you're kind of half banning it. So maybe we could do the same with phones, like half ban the phones.
Like a time curfew.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's kind of a halfway thing. So plastic's still around. It's the single use that stops. And like the smoking is halfway. But if you ban something full stop, then I think that's when the difficulties start.
Okay. Right. Okay.
By banning, you create a rebellion, don't you, of people who actively seek to overturn it or go against it just because it's a ban and they don't like having their rights.
Okay. So there's a kind of
I think you should just charge more for the plastic. Like instead of being 10p a carrier bag, if you put it as like a 2-3 quid, people would bring reusable bags. But then that extra money should be put back into more sustainable resources, I think.
Okay, so £3 for a carrier bag.
You definitely would bring a bag if it was 3 quid a carrier bag, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It would be something like that. I mean, maybe that's a bit steep. I don't know, but yeah, putting that money into something else.
Yeah. Make it okay. Yeah. So we're talking about the idea of banning stuff. Is it ever a good idea to ban stuff? Ben says no. But what's her name again?
Joanna.
Joanna says actually banning plastics is a great idea. Let's ban more stuff. So I'm kind of paraphrasing there, just to make it more controversial. So that's the debate here. Yep.
We're going to ban hunger and get some lunch.
Oh, you're banning hunger. Okay, that's that's a whole topic in itself. Should we ban hunger? But have you got a final thought for us, Ben and Thomas?
No, not really. Have you got anything, Thomas?
I have.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, let's say I say we shouldn't ban phones fully, because if you let's see if you've broke.
So like this half ban thing.
Yeah, let's say if it was doing a marathon and you broke your bone and there's no one there.
Yeah.
But all the runners had their phones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were running past you.
Yeah.
And then they saw you, and then you could.
Do marathon runners generally carry phones?
Well, I would say yes, because.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if someone's running.
Yeah.
And then they fall over, and then they've broke some part of the body.
It's very, very useful to have a phone to call the ambulance.
Where they can't get their phone, and there's no watches there, and then
Okay, so phones can be useful. I think we'll take from that. So we've got some spare seats now. Come and have a seat around the table of chat. I might just get another round of names. So what's your name?
Celeste.
Celeste.
Celeste. Richard.
Carla.
Edgar.
John.
And James. And what's your name? Come closer. Come closer. What's your name?
Jess.
Jess. And
Hannah.
And
Leo.
And what's your name? Bob. And
David. I'll change my nickname to Jess.
Jess. Okay.
Joanna.
And I'm Mikey. And at the moment we're talking about banning stuff and the idea of the half ban. That you sort of half ban something like the plastics. You can still have it for about £3 or something like that. This plastic water bottle, 25p for the water, £3 for the bottle. Would that be a good idea? What about phones? Should we half ban phones? And how's that going to work? Yeah.
It's a good idea if you can afford it, but if you can't, if there are people who £3 is going to cause them some hardship, then I think it's unfair.
Okay.
So I think you can't keep taxing and taxing and taxing.
Okay, so you can't. What about people that can't afford a plastic bottle of sparkling water if it's £3.25? Okay. Do you want to go in?
Yeah, I'll give Mike. I think Mike has done a cracking job.
What are you saying?
I think no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you. Do you want a break?
Okay, all right. I'm getting banned. So we're gonna. Let me just get this point from Edgar because it's a compelling point. I know.
Carry on if you want.
No. I'm gonna get the point from Edgar. Then I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna and you can carry on the conversation, Will. We need to keep this live. Let me just get this one last point.
On phones.
Yeah.
You can get apps.
Yeah.
I think you should lower down the amount of apps you can get.
Right, okay.
So then the phones, because people...
I'm getting what you're saying.
Because people that have phones aren't used to getting bored. So if you have less apps, they will get bored more easily. And
what should be the maximum number of apps on a phone?
Spend about 6 maybe.
Okay, so ban more than 6. This is the concept of the half ban. So you only got 6 apps that you can have on your phone. And that's it. Okay, I'm going to leave everyone to think about that. Thanks. Let's give Will a big round of applause. Keep it warm. Keep it warm. I'm going to give you this one first, and I'm going to...
That's fine, but I think that's a great point about the 6 apps. So, if you could only have 6 apps, what would those apps be? Can you watch your sandwich there so I can swing across? Don't want to sit on it and squish it. Very smooth transition because we are professionals here.
How professional?
All right, how professional and smooth is that? You got me all tangled up, Mike. What's going on here? This is not the professional part. There we are. All right then, 6 apps. Go. What would you have, my man?
My first app would be... The first app that I would have would be Minecraft.
Minecraft? Why would you choose Minecraft?
Because Minecraft has countless different things you can do on it, so it'll be...
So like building, stuff like that?
Yeah, so it'll be really hard to get bored on it.
Right, okay. Do people agree? Would you have more games? Would you like Minecraft?
Yeah, I can see, because, you should get 2 games so you can just still get educated. For your kids.
Educational apps in there. I think parents are looking a bit concerned that their 6 apps are going to be taken up by Minecraft and other games on their phones. Is that right?
Because your kids just don't want to play Messenger because that's not even a game.
Now, I think this is a great conversation. We are going to carry it on, but when I jump in the circle, I like to get around to names because I don't know everybody. Mikey does, and I need to get a little bit more untangled. So I'm going to start over here. What's your name?
Mikey.
Mikey? Celeste. Carla. Edgar. We've got people at the back. Come on in if you want to. What are your names? Milo. John. What's the little one's name as well? No, that's okay.
James.
Jess.
We've got Jess, and what's the little one as well?
This is Rosa.
Hannah. Julie. Bob.
Leo.
No, I like the beard as well, Bob. That's a cracking one.
Jess.
Joanna. Not Lorraine. I'm on that one. Joanna.
Basil.
And Basil. I'm Will. This is Talkaoke. And we're going to I've missed out on a lot of the conversation, but so far we're on 6 apps and parents are a bit concerned that it's all going to be their Minecraft on it. So what other apps might we use on the phone? What are the most important things that we need in our digital life right now?
Maybe messages.
Messages? What sort of messenger app? Like WhatsApp, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got 2 apps. We've got Minecraft and we've got WhatsApp so far. We've only got 4 more to go, people, before we run out of apps.
I'm sure of the definition of an app.
An app? Oh, okay. So we need now. I'm going to say, I don't know, let's take a vote. Do we think maps count as an app? Yeah, all right, that's a unanimous. So you need a map, but we were saying on the table earlier. Okay, I'm missing points left, right and centre here. What are we saying?
You need Google Maps.
You need Google Maps. Well, what, can't you just use a paper map? That's what we said earlier.
No.
No, why not?
We used to. I had no phone before and I couldn't get anywhere.
I think the one good thing about Google Maps is the argument reduction that has happened on those long journeys. Yeah, I'm going to come over here. What are we saying?
Could we have just 6 games, but you can have 6 apps that help you around and Google and stuff like that.
So you want 6 game apps and now 6 other apps that can be useful as well?
Yeah.
Okay, but we're doubling the apps overnight there. Where did that happen? That was a bit of a curveball.
Well, as she said, Google, you can get paper maps as well. So you can use a paper map to save your space on the apps you need on your phone.
But what else does that mean you're going to have to carry with you? We're going to have to go back to packing these rucksacks and going to Mike and then we'll pop back over there.
I think actually maps are quite dangerous because I remember when before Google Maps, I used to always have a map and maybe you should actually stop your vehicle to actually check the map, but I never did that. I was just driving along kind of, trying to read the map and drive at the same time. It's more dangerous than being on the phone.
I don't know, but do people use a phone when they're driving to look at their maps though, or is it all mounted up now?
You like sat-nav on your phone, don't you? Through maps.
Right, okay. So who uses a sat-nav for their phone now? Is it not just a phone anymore? Is it a sat-nav? Is it a Google? Is it your bank? What is it? What are you saying, Joab?
It's everything. It's all the useless stuff that I don't need to fill my brain with is in my phone, and I can access it when I need to.
But can you cram
So it's like an extension of my brain. So I don't need to fill up my head with lots of useless information that I might only use once a year.
So maybe we can't get all that information into just these 6 apps unless they're like super apps.
I mean, let's just go back. We were talking about history earlier on. Like before maps were invented, people needed to remember the lay of the land, and the map. The paper map was just like splurging all that out onto a bit of paper, so why not splurge it out onto a phone? I'm agreeing with, I'm agreeing.
You want the app there or just
I mean, the app is actually giving you more brain space for other stuff.
Do we agree? No? We've got, I don't know, we've got some faces coming up.
Google Maps also talks to you while you're driving, so
right,
actually just telling you which, lane.
Yeah, it's not quite the same when your partner's trying to read the directions, is it? Alright, and it causes a bit of confusion there.
Google Maps.
Definitely on a Google Maps on there, but I want to know, what else do people use on the phone? Is the map the most important thing we use the phone for now? YouTube! Alright, so we've got YouTube up. That's 3 apps down so far. We've only got 3 to go unless we get in the games as well. Why is YouTube so important on the phones? Do you use YouTube on your phone?
No.
Or on a phone or
on
a tablet? On a tablet
and on the TV.
On the what? On the TV as well?
Yeah. The thing is, with YouTube, it's more useful if you have it on a TV, because like on TV, like you can't play games, and I'd prefer to keep my 6 games for actual games,
right, okay.
and not YouTube, because I can watch YouTube on other things.
We're thinking tactfully now, aren't we? If you can only use 6 that can carry with us, does that mean you get 6 on your phone and 6 on the tablet? Is people just going to buy more phones then if that's the case? Just going to fill it up with like 6 phones?
Well, it's a bit like the thing where the genie grants you 3 wishes, and then your 3rd wish is to have more wishes.
Yeah, I'm going to veto that one. I'm going to say we can't do that. Actually, Talkaoke has no rules. I can't veto it. It's up to you guys. Do we get rid of this 6 app rule that we're having? Do we think we need more than 6 apps on a phone? We've got some nods at the back.
Are we able to change our apps? It's just no more than 6.
I don't know. It's the people speak. It's up to you, the people.
Your way to work, you can delete maps and do something else.
Is there a rule then? How often can we delete apps and replace them? What are your thoughts?
If you limited the number of apps, someone would just make an app that gives you access to a load of apps without actually having it all through one app.
We need to jump on this mic before Zuckerberg gets there. We're going to get on that one. It's the next one. Yeah, the people speak app.
But as I said before, because if you can just delete them, you won't get bored of your phone, because you can just keep deleting and putting new stuff on to play them.
Okay, come on, sit down. We've got some more chairs. Get involved.
You can go into it, and there's like 6 apps you have to keep, and that's how you get bored of your phone and you spend less time on it.
Right, okay. So it's an interesting point. I'm going to come to Mikey.
I would say the way it could work.
Before you jump in with that, Mikey, are you guys jumping off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a final thought and then I'll carry on with that point?
I was going to say, when I was your age, well, a bit older than you, there were only 2 games on the computer. There was like Pac-Man and Pong, and you didn't have any choice but to play those, and we played them probably about as long as you spend on phones anyway, so I think it's just a different generation.
Yeah, and final thought from yourself as well.
Pizza's coming because you're going to get a pizza.
Oh, pizza's coming. I think a big round of applause. You've been great at the table. I'll see you a little bit later on. Now, Mikey, we said we'd come back to you.
No, well, I think the thing everyone only gets 6 apps on their phone, but if you want another app, you can swap it with another person. That way, you have to talk. You have to talk to other people.
You've got to collect them all.
So so if you say you haven't got maps and you need to drive somewhere, you have to find someone that's got the map app and swap it with an app that they need.
Maybe that could get people talking.
Yeah.
Do you think you could survive with only 6 apps on your phone at a time? No, come sit down, that's what we're talking. Round of applause as they come sit down for a minute. Come on over, let's get involved. I love a bit of pressure, don't you? But you'll enjoy it once you get there as well. What's your name?
There's too many games to only have 6 apps.
Too many games, that's what we're saying though. But is it games for yourself or games for the little ones as well?
Both.
Both? Alright, what sort of games would you like to see on your phone if you could only whittle it down to a couple?
Oh, I don't know, Candy Crush keeps me amused for a bit.
Yeah, which one was that?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, alright, yeah. I'm going to put my hand up. I've been guilty of the Candy Crush. Now, we've got some new faces as well. What are the names?
Chris.
Chris. Liam.
Jessica.
Milo. I've already met you before, haven't I, Milo? What's your name at the back?
Mike.
Mike, nice to meet you. This is Talkaoke. Having a bit of a chat about apps at the moment, aren't we, guys? Trying to decide what apps we can use, what ones we don't. Mikey seems to think that we should, if we only have 6 apps, then you've got to try and suss somebody else out that has the app that you need. But that could be a bit of a pinch if you're lost somewhere without the map app. What are you going to do then? I mean, what would you do? What would you do if you found yourself in the middle of nowhere, didn't have a map? Could you use your phone?
What I would do is I would check the trunk of a tree, and the mossy side is the south side of the tree, so that way I'd know which way is north and south.
You just made that up, is that true?
No, I saw it on TV once.
You've got that shady look on. Oh, I should have said this. What were you saying?
Well, you could pay money to delete a app.
So you have to pay money now?
If you're in trouble.
Right,
so you could just delete it, just if you're in.
How much would you charge to delete an app and get a new one?
it goes up every time you do it.
Oh, okay. Every time. So we start at like 50p, and then it goes to £1, and it keeps going up, or do you just go straight in at £50?
Start at 50p.
Start at 50p, because you want to try out which ones you like most. What about, is it mum and dad, is it, I'm guessing, as well? Yeah, so do you like that idea? Do you think actually it's great, or do you think actually my bill's going to go through the roof when I keep deleting the game apps?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the phone anyway, even though I've got one, I don't think it's necessarily good for society, so...
Right, so Bob's thinking we should get rid of the phones.
Yeah, I'm being a bit of a Luddite here.
Right, so, but is that just the phone in general, or do you think if we got rid of some of the more addictive apps like Candy Crush, then we might be able to use the phones a little bit better?
Yeah, but then it's ultimately a vehicle for people to make money from, so...
Right, so it goes back to making money. Is that the most important part, though?
This is a bit of a curveball, but I think that phones do make people less intelligent, but it makes us as a society more intelligent. Like, dolphins are actually cleverer than human beings, but they've got no technology, so they can't do anything with it.
So they're just sort of swimming away, yeah?
As Leo said, if you pay money, like, so you can try new games out, so maybe like the first 3 or 4 times it could be 50p, because you just need to try new things out to see if you like them.
Right, so you get like a trial period of the apps as well, see if you like them, see if you don't. Got some new faces, welcome back, what's your name?
Flora.
Flora and?
Karen.
Karen, lovely to see you guys again. We're talking about apps at the moment. Mikey seems to think that mobile phones are making... You're trying to sneak off there, I saw you, I'm bringing you back in, alright? It seems to think that maybe it makes us less intelligent as individuals, but as a whole, it's making us smarter as a society. Is that fair to say? Bit of a succinct one?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's all technology. Books as well. Like, books actually make us less clever, but they make the world more clever.
So wait, books make you less
the
clever?
world of human beings, yeah.
Okay, what do you...
Because you have to think about...
Point, you can't drop the mic and run away, though.
I'll come back here. No, it's alright. I was... No, it's like... Because then, as... not Lorraine, Joanne was saying that you have less stuff in your head, so you can think about more stuff if you put it in a book or if you put it in a phone.
Right, so you want to get those thoughts down. Are you shooting off? Don't sneak off. Give us a final thought. You install it. You're coming back later. We will see. I can't stop that one happening. That is just natural. So, what do you think? A book's making us less smart? A tablet's making us less smart? What are your thoughts?
I think...
I'm going to come over there in 1 sec. No, it's alright.
I think like when you're deleting a game, it's saying like you need to pay.
Yeah.
But how about like there's
but
a
is that
certain...
making you less smart the more that you use those apps?
But let's say there's like a period of time that if you delete it in that period of time, you just delete it for free.
Right, okay.
And then after that period, you need to pay to delete
I think you guys have got a solid business proposition here right now.
For like a week, you don't need to pay, and then after that, you need to pay.
I wouldn't worry though, because Mike is going to get right on the copyright while I carry on, aren't you?
So deleting apps. That's a great concept.
No, I'm going to come over here and over here. We had a point though, didn't we?
Well, it was just surely it's just our way of accumulating. You work something out, you write it down, you get on with working something else out.
Yeah.
So that would be always the way, just once we were able to store information.
Right, okay, so it's just a way of getting it down, so it's not that we're losing it, it's just a way of like cataloguing it almost. Yeah, nice one. What are you saying, Milo? What are your thoughts?
We could just like put stuff in a notebook and bring it with you.
Go back to notebooks and just start bringing it with you. See, this is what I mean. Wouldn't need the notes up on your phone anymore then, would you? You could just write it down. But we've got some new faces. What are the names, lads?
Tom.
Tom and...
Archie.
Archie, nice to meet you. At the minute, we're talking about phones, we're talking about books, we're talking about technology. Is it making us less smart, or is it just a way to get that information down? Marley seems to think we should go back to using a pen and paper, just writing stuff. Would you be up for that? Just getting rid of the phone, going straight back to pen and paper?
Well, you'd have to get rid of it. Just stop relying on it.
Stop relying on it.
As soon as you rely on a phone for long enough, your brain will go into atrophy.
Okay.
It's like any other muscle. You have to use it, and as soon as you stop, it becomes weaker.
Right. Okay. So do you think the less that we're using our brains, do you think actually using phone means that we're not using our brains as much? We're just on autopilot almost.
No, it's some things you can use. Phones are a really good tool for research and internet communication. But as soon as it becomes your main mean of reading media, It's corrupts your life.
Who uses their phone to get more information, like the news, like media stuff like that? What do you use it for then, Mikey? What sort of stuff do you read?
Mostly news. I use it a lot to check Facebook, but then that's like articles that people post to confirm my own worldviews. So I mostly use it for that, I think.
Yeah. Do people also do that? Do they use it now as their main source of information? Oh, wait there, let me get over to you.
The 24-hour news is like bad for the brain.
It's bad for the brain.
Doom and gloom constantly hammering at your head.
So does that mean that news needs to be a bit more cheery, or do we need to reduce the amount of news that we're getting? What do you think? Reduce it.
Because it's just constant and you're getting bad news constantly.
So we're getting bad news all the time?
Is it really?
Alright, bad news isn't good news. I'm going to come here, yeah.
Because, I totally agree, but because we get the news from everywhere at all times, there's always something bad happening somewhere. If news was more localised, then it would become kind of less interesting, a bit more boring and sometimes more positive.
So you need to make it local.
You just know that this little thing happened, or that bad thing happened, or that good thing happened, but they'll always go for the horrible thing, but it's a million miles away, so that it's more engaging.
So we're not feeling as much empathy.
Global news is not very helpful for people's frame of mind.
Right, so it's the global news the problem. You seem to agree over there as well.
Yeah, I think probably like 50 years ago the news might have been like cows blocking the road, causing traffic. Now it's like, I don't know, tsunami or devastation in
okay.
I don't
So
know.
we don't need to know about
this.
No, but it's an interesting point. Maybe we don't need to hear about the stuff that doesn't directly affect us. We just need to focus on the things that do.
Just not constantly. I think we need to know about it, but just it's constant.
Right,
That's what I'm against, I think.
Do you think the news is bad for us? Do you think we need more local news instead of more national and global news? What are your thoughts? Come sit down, that's what we're talking about. This is Talkaoke. What's your names? What's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie and
Teresa.
What was that? Teresa, was it? Tracy. Yeah. Nice one. Well, what do you think? Do you think the news is too bad for us as well? I'm going to come over here, then we'll come over there.
So there was a modern philosopher that prophesied that the news and newspapers are making you less intelligent, because news is directly controlled by the government. It's a government-funded thing, so they sort of censor what you should know. And in doing so, the knowledge that you're learning is not correct or not the full story.
So do people think that the media started to manipulate us?
Media's not the only thing that's the problem about phones.
What's the other problem? Tell me. Preach the knowledge.
It's like, you feel like you need to do some of the apps. Yeah, like media, Instagram, Facebook.
So we're almost becoming addicted to getting as much information as possible. Do you feel that you guys use your phones too much to get information? What are their thoughts? We've got Mum and Dad over there. Bob's looking like, yeah, maybe a bit too much time.
Yeah, well, no, I think we're all probably, what's the word for it? They use a lot of careful, like on Facebook, the scrolling. It's similar to putting gambling. It's getting into triggers, natural triggers.
It's like small bits of endorphins coming out that you feel really happy. Maybe that's what we were going on there. Do you think the government are trying to control the way we feel through these outlets, through the media?
I don't think it's the government that's trying to control us at all. I mean, I think it's more that we just get sucked into these things. Like,
so we're to blame.
No one's to blame. That's just how we are. We just like, for example, I just go on BBC News, and I can't be bothered to check all the other different news stories.
So you just rely completely on BBC?
All the information is there from as many sources as I could think of. I just see what's on BBC
News. Do we just trust these sources, not nobody too much?
I would say that the issue is that everything in life is far too explained, because, you know, if we're talking about philosophy, Socrates described a good life as one that is unexplained, and you know, something should be left down to mystery, I think, and it's something like the worldwide news and like websites and articles and stuff that comes on feeds on social media have kind of taken away the mystery in life and explained everything.
So maybe we need a little bit more mystery in life. You don't want to know too much. I'm going to come to Marla first, I'm going to come to yourself.
If we could stop like using maps and just stop listening to music in cars and just concentrate more.
Right, so getting rid of music now. We're getting controversial on this one. Now, I'm going to come to you guys. We've got some new faces. What are your names? Yeah, I can see you in the back there. Just because you're not in the scene doesn't mean... What's your name?
Julia.
Julia, lovely to meet you. Julian at the back as well?
Johnny.
Johnny, lovely to meet you. We're chatting at the moment about lots of stuff, aren't we? We're talking... Oh, I didn't see you there, buddy.
Freddie.
Freddie, nice to meet you, Freddie. How's your day going today? Is it alright? Yeah, do you use a phone? Or a tablet? Or some TV?
a tablet.
Yeah, do you think you're using too much? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Is it? Do we need less? We need more mystery in our life. Do you think we should get rid of the phones, get rid of the tablets? Yeah. What are your thoughts?
If we have,
There's the shock there. Please don't do this.
if we have more mystery, we won't think as much. Because if human bodies think, we can get like other important things and the things that don't really matter.
Right. Okay. So maybe you're like focusing on the more important stuff.
So just picking up on your point, I do feel we're just fed constantly with, we don't even know like how to, I feel like we don't even know how to think for ourselves anymore. We're having our own opinion even
so maybe like we forgot.
Yeah, we've just fed all this stuff all the time.
So we're just relaying information, other people's opinion. We can't formulate our own ideas anymore.
I think, but behind every explanation there's always another mystery. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might say, why is the sky blue? Because of the refraction of light or whatever, but then why is the light coming? And he just goes on and on and on. So there's always you can explain stuff, like why is a pound 20% worth 20%? No,
you don't want to send people into an existential crisis.
Yeah, but there's always what I'm saying is, for every explanation there's always another mystery. Right. For every answer there's always another question.
So maybe it's not a case that we need more mystery in our lives, we just need to look in the right places. Give us a final thought before you go. Final thought about what's your favourite thing you've spoken about, or what you're doing next.
What now?
Yeah, anything at all. Your final thought, she'll say.
I think Morrissey was right. We need to stop listening to the news.
Right, Morrissey's right. Let's do this. Marley, you see what I want to say, Smith?
Like, I watch my iPad when I'm eating my dinner, so I think I might stop doing that.
There we go, round of applause. Look at that. Well done, pal. What about the back? Any final thoughts from you guys?
Gonna go and get some food.
Get some food. Well, enjoy your food. Round of applause for you guys. It's been great. Have a wonderful weekend. See you later. So, where do we want to go with this? Do we want to carry on talking about the apps, the technology, the mystery? Do we need more of that? Or do we want to know what people are up to later in the day? Where do you want to go with this? It's up to you guys. I love asking that question because everyone looks at the other person like, have you got this? Have you got this? Yeah. Oh, we got over there, yeah.
So when you read the news, like someone said it isn't good for you, and it's focusing your brain on just that, and you can forget what's happening around you.
Right.
So like,
do you want a final thought as well in a sec?
Once my mum was on the phone over on the seat in the same room as me, and there was this massive knife, and I was trying to cut a bagel, and it went right through my nail.
So sometimes you can lose concentration though, don't you? Yeah. And it happens though. Do you know what? I'm afraid to say, buddy, as well, it doesn't get much easier as you grow up as well. You're still going to make mistakes, but maybe we need to make those mistakes to learn from them as well. Is it important to make mistakes like that?
I've got a question for you.
Go for it.
Is life actually worth the effort?
I don't know, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Is it if you think about it, if life was a product in a shop, would you buy it?
What do you think? I'm going to throw it. This is Talkaoke. I'm not the man that's getting asked, so I'm going to flip it back to you, my man. So what do you think? Is it worth investing in? Would you buy this life if you saw it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when you asked me that one.
But I mean, you say if it's a product in the shop, would there be other products as well? Other different versions of lives offered, and what would be the best one? And how would you market this particular life? I guess you could say you get to go to festivals in this life. You get to experience some good things, have some highs. I don't know. How would you market this life so that people would buy it?
I don't know, how would you sell the life?
Well, if you go to simulation theory, I'm not going to get into that, but if you could live a life in a computer and it's your own reality, and you could live with certain perks, like you could fly or whatever, you could perhaps not know that you're in a simulation and live like this, or would you choose to live in the real world?
So, the question is, if you could choose to live a simulated life that maybe you could design or market or choose, would you choose that over your real life? So that's sort of where we're going with that one. So what do you think? Would you rather choose the life that you have but live a simulated life, but like the Matrix, or would you rather live your life right now as is? What are your thoughts?
So you talk about like editing out all the stuff you don't like and creating
Yeah?
But you'd have to know that you're in a simulation. Could you live with that you're in a simulation?
Well, this did happen in the Matrix, because there's the one guy who wants to go back and eat steak and all the other ones, but most of the people didn't want to go back and live in a simulation because they would rather eat the gooey porridge stuff their whole lives and be right and have them like the moral high ground and feel that they're right and true rather than just enjoy themselves. And that's the same with me. Like, I'd rather be a vegetarian and a cyclist than actually just enjoy a nice steak and drive a car.
I know, but you do get jealous when I have a pizza at the end of the night, don't you? I've seen that. Okay, so sometimes we might on the moral high ground, but it comes at a cost, doesn't it? Do you think it's worth the trade-off? Do you think trying to be good and trying to live a good life is too much now? Do we just need to buy it in a simulation? What are your thoughts? What would you like to do if you could choose any life that you would have? What would you choose, Freddie? What would you like in your life? You could pick anything at all. Should I give you a minute to think about it? It's a big question, isn't it? Yeah. What about the adults in the room? If you could choose something, if you could just wipe off all your mortgages like that, have no more bills, would you do it? What are your thoughts?
Definitely lots of travelling, I think.
Lots of travelling. Well, what sort of places would you travel? But is it the same to travel in a virtual simulation?
No, I wasn't in a virtual simulation. I wouldn't swap that, just in real life.
But do you think that would be amazing to go on holiday? Just go, boom, you can go to the Grand Canyon, no jet lag, no flights. Good for the environment. Maybe this is where virtual reality comes in. We can do a little bit more virtual travelling. Is that something we'd like to see?
Yeah, not the flights on the head.
I mean, you could go the full mile and have a virtual flight as well if you wanted to, delays and all. You could do that.
Because on Newsround, I think it was on the, Wednesday.
Yeah.
There's these like robots that carry parcels to people's houses. Maybe we could make robots that can carry people and like robots that can fly and take people to all countries, just like airplanes
so
and cars.
Automated planes. Would that just pick up one person and fly them over, or a bunch of people?
A bunch.
A bunch of people, like a big scoop up and just carry them
they
off.
They don't waste petrol like cars do.
They don't waste petrol. And we had an interesting one over here. What did we say? You can go back where? I thought it was a good point. I can hear when I'm not looking as well.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I just thought it'd be a good idea if we could do anything to just go back and do it all again, or at the same time, but again and again and again.
So you can go back, but now a bit like Groundhog Day, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I'll do the same. Just thinking. Well, I did that last year. I'll relive that year and go there and do that.
Right, so it's not about changing what you've done, but just sort of reliving the moments and going back.
Maybe not getting older and just having endless time and just thinking, well, when I leave this festival, I'll think I would like to have done it 5 more times, but just do different things each time, because I can't do everything I want to do in one weekend.
So we should be able to maybe live in the past a bit more, go back, do
this
those
weekend,
things.
and then think, well, there's my set list for this weekend.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll do that, because I can't see 2 people at the same time.
Now, I'm going to come over in a sec. I just realised though, we've got some new faces and I didn't ask your names. What are your names?
Oliver.
Oliver and
Kate.
Kate, lovely to meet you. I think you're probably catching up a little bit quicker as well, like I am at the moment, trying to just get to grips with this conversation, because it's a big one, isn't it? We're saying, should we be able to go back in time, relive those memories, relive those times, or do we need to live more in the present? You had something to say there. What are your thoughts?
Well, the robots have to be powered by something.
So the robots have to be powered. So what is going to power this virtual machine that takes us back in time to relive? I'm going to come over here, yep.
Constant dissatisfaction.
Constant dissatisfaction. So that's going to fuel the machine, is it? Every time you're dissatisfied. So it's going to go, oh, put that there and you can fly back and enjoy.
Wouldn't you say that kind of, because like we were saying about how like you can go back in time and like travel wherever you want to travel, isn't there something about life that actually, like, if you could do all that, would there actually be any point, because it's just like a dream?
So is there any point, if you just keep going back and doing all the stuff and not making these mistakes, is there any point to the life? It's a big question. I don't know the answer. Maybe somebody else does. Do you have the answer?
No.
No, that's all right though. What did you want to say? This is the beauty of Talkaoke.
If we went back in time, like over and over again, nothing would change.
Right.
You just do it over and over again, so you have the same things.
So maybe it's not a point of it not being pointless, but it's about just understanding and enjoying the moment, not trying to change it, but embracing the things that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, and I like the face paint as well. I need to get me some of that. Yeah.
As my mum said before you came, she said like make a water-powered machine for something.
Yeah.
Well, the robots could be powered by water.
Right. So what do you think we need more water-powered machines that can take us back in time? Any thoughts? Was it Kate? Was it?
Kate.
Yeah.
No. I'm very much forward-thinking.
Right. Okay.
Don't look back. Learn from your past and move forward and look to the future.
Would you like a water-powered machine
grow,
that could show you the future and you could choose which path you want to take?
Yes, actually, yes. I would choose a sunny weekend.
Right, okay, so if you could choose maybe not the rainy Deershed, but the sunny one down south maybe, you could have made that choice?
I would have it sunny in Yorkshire.
Sunny in Yorkshire, yeah, alright. I think a lot of people agree with that one as well. Oliver, what are your thoughts? You seem like you're taking it all in, soaking it all up at the moment.
I'm just like, so me and Kate are Deershed, we're Deershed directors, so
we're
absolutely we're holding a lot of things in our head at the moment.
Yeah,
and water-powered robots has just about tipped me over the edge. Actually. trying to contemplate that.
That's what Talkaoke does to a person.
Yeah, I think growing.
But we were saying before, weren't we? We were talking about whether or not we need to get more stuff out of our brains, whether or not phones allow us to do that, or notepads do. And maybe the answer is to get these water-based machines that can just have like an artificial intelligence brain that takes all the stuff that we don't need.
Yeah, like a kind of robot security guard who would do exactly what you sort of told them to do.
Maybe. Do you think that would help with Deershed?
And not forget half of it after you just sort of told it to them. That would be good.
Right, is that something you would like to see at Deershed? Maybe automated people or guides or ticketers?
Just them in the yellow vests. Really. Yeah, that would
just
be
pointing
great.
in directions with a bit of robotic voice.
Yes. This is you shall not pass. RoboCop.
We need RoboCop at Deershed. Hey, that's a great point. We've got a lot of people ideas. What are we thinking?
Well, if there were water-powered robots, how would the water power the robots?
I don't know. Does anyone know how would we get the water to power these robots? What was that?
There's a hand up over there.
Yeah.
So, like a guard robot needs to be put the instructions in by computer, but there is hackers, so hackers could like break into your computer.
I hadn't thought of it. Maybe you need to hire him for your Deershed team. He's the brains behind the operation.
If they all went rogue as well.
Yeah, what would happen then?
I don't know.
It'd be a marketing nightmare, wouldn't it?
I'd have a stroke, I think.
Any thoughts?
If a water-powered robot actually did work, if they might use like all the water up.
Right. So then we're going to use all the water up, and we'll have a water shortage then, don't we? What are your thoughts?
We're just going to love you and leave you on that.
Can I get a final thought from yourselves, Oliver and Kate? Any thoughts? Final thought about anything what we've spoken about, what you're doing next, or something you want to share with the people?
Just the weather. Let's just hope it stays like this.
Let's hope it stays like this. Nice one.
Yeah. Campsites, roads repaired. Yeah, we've had a busy morning. So
nice one. Yeah. And what about yourself, Kate? Final thought.
Well, I'm just pleased that people come to Deershed and do things like this. So thank you all for coming and putting up with the weather and stuff like that.
I think a well-earned round of applause for Oliver and Kate as well. Thank you so much for organising it, and thank you for having us here as well. Great stuff. Now we're going to come over to you, my man. Drop some philosophy knowledge. That's what seems what it's doing.
Well, not philosophy, science. So you could use water very effectively with a hydrogen fuel engine, and you split the water into hydrogen fuel, and it's an infinite source because it only outputs hydrogen and oxygen, which will go back to water eventually.
That only outputs it?
So you put water into a chamber with 2 electrodes, and you put current into it, and it'll split the hydrogen into a cathode and the oxygen into an anode.
But where do you get this electricity from? The electronic charge?
Or you can create it with the hydrogen. So it's not a constant loop, but the hydrogen is explosive, and you can use that to power, rockets. You could generate generators.
Yeah. See, this is where I need one of your water-based machines, because that's some great knowknowledge that I feel I'm going to forget in an hour.
Better one would be a fusion engine, because there's no waste and it's 100% effective.
So we need more sustainable energy. We've got some new faces there. What are your names, guys?
Paul
and
Daryl.
Daryl, nice to meet you. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Do we need more sustainable energy to go into these robots?
Well, it's not about robots, but I think as someone said before, the water might run out. But I don't think the water run out because of the oxygen and the gases in our world will form rain inside a cloud, so I don't think the water will run out.
So maybe we're not going to run out of water, maybe it's just going to be a constant cycle. You guys, can we get some final thoughts from you guys? I'm going to miss your funky beard as well. It's amazing.
Thank you very much. I just think boredom sometimes is quite important, so it's quite good sometimes just to have space to think.
Right, have a bit of space to think. That's a good one.
And I think we should live in the real world, not a virtual world, personally.
Real world over virtual world?
The water-powered robots sound good.
Water-based robots. Thank you, round of applause to these guys. You've been great. Enjoy the rest of your day. Now we've got Mikey back as well. What are your thoughts?
I don't think we do. I don't think we even need robots.
Don't need robots. But I think we need a pizza making robot because the joy that just came across your face is incredible as well, alright? So maybe we need more pizza making robots, stuff like that can help us out.
Pizza? Oh, I'm asking.
Yeah, oh, you want a pizza? That's alright, no worries. What are your thoughts, guys? Do we need more robots? Do we need more people to start doing things for us?
No.
I would say that, you know, back in the day, I'm talking about like medieval day.
Yeah.
Like, everyone seems to manage fine. Well, no, not fine, but everyone managed, if you know what I mean. And then obviously there's more jobs and there's a higher population now. But realistically, robots, no.
So maybe not. Maybe we need to go back to more primitive times. What sort of things would you take from medieval times and apply to today's society?
I just feel like, you know,
I'm assuming we leave the
beds.
bubonic pneumonic plague where it was. That one.
I think that the most important thing is that we include the human factor in everything that we do. Because what is life? If everything is done perfectly, no new ideas would be come up with, because some of the mistakes have made the greatest inventions in history.
So we need to go back to more basic time, make more mistakes.
Well, yeah, if we accept that the humans, you know, can do it, just do it.
All right. What are your thoughts? Is it Julie? Was it? Yeah. What are your thoughts, Julie?
No, I'm being quiet. I'm just
Being quiet. That's all right. You take it in. That's the beauty of Talkaoke. Are you off as well?
We're going to get cake.
What sort of cake are you gonna get?
She's getting cake.
She's getting cake.
Probably chocolate.
Chocolate. Well, do you want to leave us with a final thought as well? What is your idea? Do we need to take more sort of medieval stuff to the present? Do we need to strip back as a society, do you think? It's a big question to leave on, isn't it?
Well, I agree with the guy that just left that said it's not a crime to be bored from time to time, and actually there are too many things on, and you know, less phone, and any parent would say that.
Yeah, less phone, more time.
Yeah, so and just have time to just sit and read a book or not or whatever, or just. I had loads of bored days when I was a kid, and I don't know whether Flora is ever bored.
No, I'm going to come to you second, Mikey, but I want to get a final thought from Flora as well. What's your final thought? Anything at all?
She would say she is.
No.
What would you like us to talk about as well?
Leave them with a final.
Anything to ask? What cake do you want to eat? What cake? Any ideas? No, it's fine. We'll enjoy your cake anyway. Guys, thank you so much. Round of applause for these guys. It'd be great as well. Enjoy it. Mikey, you
I just want to go to this. You can have one if you want. It's,
I'm alright.
In medieval times, like 98% of people were bored because they were not allowed to leave their own parish.
Right.
So, I mean, we're talking about like an area not much bigger than this festival. You weren't actually even allowed to leave that area unless you had the permission of the lord of the manor.
Right.
So I don't know, I don't think that keen on the medieval thing. And then maybe you live to 30, there's a lot of child mortality, all these things. I think we've got a better situation now.
We've got a better quality of life right now opposed to medieval times. There's a thought over here, wasn't there? Yeah.
If you die at 30, you're not going to be bothered anyway, so...
Right, okay. But do you think we need to live short lives? Do you think there's too many people on the planet right now?
12 is probably the limit. You should probably just die at 12. It didn't get any better.
At 12? 12? I've got to say, guys, it's a very pessimistic side of the table over here as well. What are your thoughts? Do you think we need to live longer? Do you think we need to live shorter? Come sit down, that's what we're talking about. Come have a chat. We've got chairs here, there, everywhere. What are your names as well? Let's get some names. In fact, before we do that, let's do a round of names. Let's get everyone's names. We'll start here, moving round.
Mikey.
Archie.
Tom.
Daryl.
Paul.
Julie. Carla.
Juliet. Apologies, Juliet. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Carla.
Edgar.
I'm sorry. I got you as you're getting a bit of pizza there.
Freddie.
Shelley.
And at the back there, I didn't miss you out. What's your name as well? Alex. Come sit down if you want to. Come relax, listen in. We're talking at the moment. Do you think we need to live shorter lives? Are we living too long? Do we need to go back to medieval times?
No, when you hit your 50s, it only just gets going.
It only just gets going in the 50s. All right.
You've got to reach that milestone, guys. You haven't lived.
Right. So do you think it's all sort of like just training and learning how life works?
It's just life lessons, learning curves, experiences.
What do you think, guys? Do you think 50's where it's going to start kicking in? What do you think, Daryl?
Well, if you die at 12, you're not going to need to use any of those life experiences anyway, so you're not going to need to know how to do anything.
Daryl seems to be causing a bit of controversy. Mikey,
like when I was at school, they said, "Oh, school is the best time. You know, this is the best days of your life." And to be honest, that made me quite depressed because I was not happy at school.
Right.
And then what I've come to realise at the age of 45 now is that life just gets better and better, and that's quite this best days of your life thing is I think it's a really bad idea, because actually the best day of your life is actually today.
So every day is better than the previous day?
I feel like if you've decided on how you're going to live, then I feel like that can make it better to live beyond 12.
Right, okay.
Like, I'm ready to live a life as a struggling artist.
Yeah.
But I think...
Good fun as Mikey will tell you.
Yeah, but I feel like if you can accept what your bag's going to be.
Right, so it's more about accepting the situation. Should we be more happy with what we've got in life instead of wanting more and trying to get more? What do you think? Do you think we should be more happy in what we've got in life? Or should we strive to get more things?
Aims and goals. I think you just need to live each day.
Just live each day to its fullest.
And if you weren't happy yesterday, then you work harder on today.
Right, okay, it's about working. I'm going to come to sit, Marky. Edgar, though, you got some thoughts before you get some more pizza?
As a child, if you get everything you want, then you get used to that, and then when you're older, you'll soon find out you can't get everything you want, and then you'll just start getting like grumpy.
So you think it's important not to have everything as a child and to learn more as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, I wish I had that actually. My mum would have been a lot happier when I was a child.
I don't really believe in happiness. I think this whole happiness thing is just a bit of a distraction.
It's a distraction from what though?
Well, we don't do things to be happy. We do things for other reasons, and like being happy is a bit of a poor reason to do something.
So you think being happy isn't important? Do you guys think it's important to be happy? Yeah, come sit down, that's what we're talking about. What sort of things make you happy?
I mean, I'm more talking as a motivation. Being happy is not a motivation to do something. It's a byproduct of doing the things you want to do.
Okay, now we've got some new faces. What are your names?
I'm Amelia.
Amelia?
Lottie.
Lottie, what are the names at the back as well? Sheila. Sheila and... Joy, are you off? Give us a final thought before you go. Final thought about anything.
Just live. Life is a gift.
On the point there, happiness is what you start with, and then you build on that. But you've got to feel content with yourself, and if you're not happy, then your day can go pear-shaped.
Right. Okay.
But that's where the experience comes in. You've got to learn to be happy.
You've got to learn to be happy, Mikey. This is it. You're getting some life lessons here at Talkaoke. What we're talking about, guys, Amelia, we've been talking a lot. Talking about technology, we've been talking about books, we should go back to more medieval times, and now Mikey seems to think that doing something just because it makes you happy isn't a good enough reason. There needs to be other reasons that you do think. Amelia, you seem shocked by that. Have a think and I'm going to come to you. We're going to come over here first.
So Mikey's right. So
you got a bit of backing, Mikey, as well.
So essentially, human nature boils down to humans need to succeed, and happiness is a byproduct of success. The more success you have, the happier you become, and as soon as you stop succeeding, so that's when you see an artist very popular. If they stop succeeding and just plateau at a level of celebrity, that's when they can become very depressed.
Right, so is that what success is then? Do we need to strive for success, and is successful being a celebrity, being famous? Is that what you strive for in life? Amelia doesn't seem to agree. What do you think?
No, I think that success is just being happy, and I think that you can do things to just be happy.
Right, what sort of things can you do to be happy?
I don't know, like watch Netflix.
Watch Netflix? Maybe that's what you need to strive for.
There wouldn't be any Netflix, because there's no other point in watching Netflix than making you happy.
I think that's a good point. Mikey, have you got Netflix in your life?
Yeah, but why does... Okay, if that's the case, why does everybody... when they watch Netflix, they watch murders and they watch violence and Game of Thrones. It's all about death and violence and murders or serial killers. If people are really after happiness, surely they would watch something else on Netflix.
So do you think? Why is it that we watch miserable things opposed to happier things?
It's because we have an emptiness in our life that can only be filled by watching other people suffer.
Right. So you think it makes you feel a little bit better when you see other people doing a little bit worse?
It shows you how good you have it.
Right, so it makes you appreciate your life more. Maybe that's what it is. Do you think it's good to see other people in more deprived situations?
Seeing other people in misery?
Yeah, do you think that's a good thing for us, or is it a bad thing?
It depends on what you're looking to get out of it.
Right, it's interesting. We've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Scott.
Scott, nice to meet you, Scott. We've been talking at the moment. Mikey's dropped a bit of a bombshell at the table. He says that we shouldn't do things that make us happy. What are you saying then? Re-explain.
I'm saying that the whole happiness, in the American Constitution, it's all about the pursuit of happiness. But happiness is not a pursuit. Pursuing things makes you happy, but pursuing happiness is not doing things to be happy. It's just a total waste of time.
Right. Yeah. I'm still trying to get my head around this point, but I think Amelia raised a good point because when you watch Netflix,
I'll go back to the thing about the guy in the Matrix, the one that betrays everybody in the Matrix, because he wants to go back to the world of he wants to go back to the world of steak and all this kind of things. He's the bad guy because he's doing stuff just to make himself happy, whereas the other people on the crew of the Nautilus have got a goal. They've got a whole quest to destroy the Matrix.
So maybe we need
and that's more important than being happy and just eating steak and stuff like that.
Socialist in your corner, isn't it?
Assimilated in the end.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I think it's an interesting point. Do we need to strive for the majority's happiness opposed to our individual happiness? Is it more important to make others happy than yourselves? What do you think, Edgar?
Well, as he said, the other people on the ship had a goal, so they have to set themselves and go steps on.
Right.
And they need confidence to go in the steps.
Yeah.
But as he just I'm gonna go in that portal.
Yeah, so instead of just doing what you want to do, you've got to have confidence to stick with things even though they make you unhappy. What are your thoughts, like?
Well, to me, when you make other people happy, you become happy yourself. So it's because just buying things to make yourself happy is only short term. Making other people happy and having that lasting will.
So maybe in the short term it's not going to make you happy, but in the long term. Now I'm going to come to you in one second. What are your thoughts, guys? You've been dwelling a little bit, having a think. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's more important to make others happy, or you got to focus on yourself a bit more?
I think you need to focus on yourself more than anything, because if you wake up at 6 in the morning and look in the mirror, you don't see other people, you see yourself.
Right, okay, so it's yourself in the mirror that you got to help. Like Michael Jackson said, you start with the man in the mirror sometimes, yeah.
Well, in the mirror, that'd be quite scary, that actually.
It's an interesting point. I'm going to come over here, yeah.
So we just spoke about success brings happiness, so the more successful you are, the happier you are.
Right.
You have to continue succeeding.
So are there any successful people that aren't happy?
So there aren't any successful people that aren't happy. Now we've got a lot of hands up, we're going to come here first.
Right. Is a good example, right? So I just sat my GCSEs, right? And when we did our mocks, I got my results back and I was like, okay, they're alright. And everyone was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't actually make you happy. So even though I was successful in it, doesn't. I don't care. I could fail and I'd be annoyed at myself, but if I succeed, I don't care.
Right, okay,
so happiness is the alternative to anger. It is happiness is a constant feeling, but anything below happiness is upset and anger and disappointment.
So we've always got these feelings going on us. It's just about how we tap into them and sort of access those emotions as well.
I mean, I sort of agree that the kind of struggle to succeed is more important than actually succeeding. Like when you succeed, it is always an anticlimax.
Right.
You know, and that's why I think a lot of stars are unhappy, because they've got what they thought they wanted, but then they get stuck. You know, but like people like Kurt Cobain, for example, he got world famous, but it wasn't actually what he wanted.
Do you think? Do you guys feel very happy at the moment? Do you think happiness is something we've got to strive for, or just bring into our lives at all points? What do you think? Do you want to be happy, or would you rather just be successful, or is it one and the same? Come sit down. We've got over here. We've got some. Round of applause. They join us at the table, guys. Nice one. What are your names? What are your names? 2 chairs. It was like it's made for you. Emma and Mark. And Mark. Nice to meet you. This is Talkaoke. We've been having quite a deep chat, haven't we, guys? We've got some pessimistic views, some optimistic views. Mikey was having a bit of a bit of an existential sort of rethink, wasn't it? It was whether or not happiness is something we strive for, or just something we shouldn't pursue but just bring into our lives. You should be happy at all points.
I think it's about perception. I think it's about perception, really, happiness. Right. I don't think it's something that... I think a lot of it is about your state of mind, how you perceive things. You could be in the... Yeah. That's my.
And it fits in with Archie. Wait, I can't remember. Your Archie name? Tom. It was like Tom was saying as well. And Archie, sometimes we strive for a bit of success, and then when we actually get it, it's a plateau. We think, it wasn't what we thought. So maybe if they perceived it a bit differently, they might feel a bit better. Are you guys off? You shooting? Just me. Can I get a final thought from yourself before you go? Could be about anything. What are your thoughts? What are you doing next?
Are you happy?
Are you happy?
I'm happy. Yeah. I think sometimes if you just kind of don't expect too much, then you're never really going to be disappointed.
Oh, there we go. See, you can sit there and listen, and you drop knowledge like that at the end. Nice, a mic drop and a half. That.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. Round of applause. You've been absolutely great. So where do you want to go? Scott, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, your man over here spoke a little bit about Kurt Cobain, rock and roll age of death. I think that's less about I don't think Kurt was striving for happiness necessarily. He was just doing what he liked to do and got chewed up by the machine. But there's a wider discussion there about mental health, isn't there? And how that plays into happiness, and a lot of that mental health in rock and roll and in stardom is about achieving, isn't it? I don't think Kurt's necessarily a great example of that, but the more wider pop phenomenon is.
Yeah, so maybe striving for success isn't doing good things for our mental health, maybe it's depleting it.
Because we're talking about achievement and successfulness. My mum wasn't very successful when she was putting the pizza box on the floor. She hit me in the nose.
So maybe it's not successful. No, but I think like we said, we learn from these mistakes, don't we, Edgar? We get there in the end. Freddie, what do you think? Do you think it's important to be successful?
Yeah.
Yeah, what sort of things do you need to be successful in? Maybe putting a pizza box on the floor is a good place to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright then. But guys, where do you want to go? Archie, what are your thoughts?
Like I was saying earlier, it's not happiness, it's like success is the only alternative to disappointment and shame. Like seriously, what I'm saying is there's no positive feelings. It's just anything below the norm is disappointing. So it's just
talking of happiness though, this is what happens at Talkaoke. You turn your back and all of a sudden there's just a box family that pops up out of nowhere. And I think that's marvellous. I want to give it a wave as well. Everyone get a wave there. Well, come sit down guys, tell us about your box. Have these boxes made you happy? Hey Scott, are you disappearing? Yeah, give us a final thought before you go back to work.
I think you're all doing a sterling job.
Oh, well thank you. Give Scott a round of applause. He's been brilliant. Cheers, Scott. So what are you guys let's get some names from the box family. What are the ideas? What are your names?
Olivia.
Olivia?
Maddox.
I'm surprised I can hear you through those boxes.
Ruby.
Ruby.
Maddie.
And Maddie as well. Guys, are these boxes making you happy? Did you think making them would make you happy? What do you think, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it is possible to strive for something that makes you happy. What are your thoughts? Do you think it is something that's good?
I think you can try and strive to be too happy. I think you should just be happy to be content.
Right. But is it okay not to be? Because we're saying that sometimes. Give us a final thought before you go.
Happiness.
Happiness. Oh, no singing, so otherwise this would be karaoke, not talkaoke. There's only a rule there, but no.
Thank you. Enjoyed the conversation, and we'll be back, I'm sure.
Thank you. Edgar, do you want to give us a final thought before you start off?
I don't know why my mum hit me in the nose with the pizza box.
Maybe he's not going to let that one go for a while. Freddie, a final thought from yourself, mate. What are you going to do next? What are you looking forward to doing?
Getting a hot chocolate.
Getting a hot chocolate, and maybe that's going to make you happy. It already has, smiling face. Round of applause for these guys. You've been absolutely brilliant. We've got some chairs. Come sit down. Come join in. Yes, Mikey.
No, I mean, I think to me the thing about this extreme creativity with the boxes, for me, it's not about the content of making the successful, whatever you call that, hat. Or
hat box
or headpiece
accessory.
It's about the struggle with the medium. It's about actually wrestling with the cardboard box and struggling to do the thing with your vision and actually being creative, to me, which is like the thing about it. So not the final product at the end.
So is it getting more and more difficult to do things that make you happy then? Before we do that, we've got two new faces. What are the names?
Hi, it's Aidan and it's great to be back.
I know, I recognise you. You were here last year as well.
I couldn't get enough. I was here like 3 hours on the trot.
I spotted you last year. And what about yourself?
I'm Luke and it's also very lovely to be back here.
It is great to see you guys again. We've got some Talkaoke veterans, alright. So, this is, I mean, Mikey is the real veteran over there. You see that? Now, guys, we're saying Mikey's dropped that bombshell. Is it becoming more and more difficult to do things to make you happy? We'll come to you a sec time. We're going to come to Daryl first.
Well, I think it's not very nice, but I think that the happiness you get from creating something is not even, it can't hold a candle to the absolute glee that one feels when they take something from another person and make it themselves. And I think that true happiness comes from causing other people despair. Not like, you have to be a meanie about it, but like...
I mean, I'm interested in how you can succeed off someone's despair without being a meanie.
Well, you know, like... in the old World War, you just take countries from people and like, it's mine now, and then they're all right happy.
Sometimes they take countries and it makes people happy.
No, but look at Love Island, for example. We were entertained by people being really horrible to each other,
Right,
really.
yeah. This is
We
going
love
back to what
it.
Mike
We
was saying.
absolutely love it. We're only like a hops, like a little step from 1984, aren't we? Really, have you read that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have. It's taken a bit of a dark turn, this table. I've got to say, we're matching the weather quite nicely, but it's kind of what Amelia was saying. He was saying we go on to things like Netflix to make us happy, and Mikey pointed out, but when we go on to make us happy, we just pick miserable stuff, you know? We're like, yeah, I feel a bit better about myself now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But is that good for our mental health? That good for society? What are your thoughts, Tom?
I think happiness is way too abstract, and I think a lot.
That's good to hear. I think thinking's important.
Yeah, well, happiness has a really ugly truth.
Right, what's that ugly truth?
If you think of it scientifically, people are trying to be happy a lot, so that's releasing endorphins in the brain, and so to be the maximum amount of happy that you can be, you have to release the maximum amount of endorphins. And so, no.
Don't go running, go running.
The scientific approach to that would be drugs.
Right. So maybe we need to take more drugs as a society. All right. That's a Talkaoke first. Let's go there.
Yes, you see.
Okay, you heard it here first.
But that's proven that doesn't work. So the ugly truth. Yeah. So the ugly truth of this is that you have to have this really difficult balance of pain and pleasure.
Right, do you guys think that you need to... I think, so it's living, you've got to go through the struggle to enjoy the happiness. Do you think...
Living is pain.
I want to ask the box people though, guys, do you think, was there any struggles in making your boxes that have obviously made you so happy? Was it difficult to make them? Did you enjoy it more because it was hard to make them?
It was hard to make them because you couldn't find the right pieces.
I like how you're speaking out the eye hole as well, it's really creative, because I can just see your mouth moving. So do you think... it was hard to make them, but did it make you enjoy the box more when you'd finally made it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. See, so maybe the struggle is important. Maybe we need more struggle. What are your thoughts there, my man?
I mean, Robert talked before over there about creating something. Daryl, sorry, about creating things making you happy in a way, but I don't necessarily think it's the process of creating, it's getting gratification for creating something.
Right, okay.
We only want kind of admiration for what we do and to be called the best at what we do.
So we want to get happiness, you need the admiration of others.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point, Archie.
But as I was saying earlier, although no one is on the table that was there a minute ago.
That's the beauty of Talkaoke. It's always changing. New people, new faces.
If you're prepared to be the struggling artist and you never get gratification for what you're doing, are you still happy to be creating something tirelessly?
I don't know, Mikey. What do you think? Is it important? Is it to get gratification? I missed that. What was that?
Slime.
Did you get pizza? Slime workshop.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think to me, it's about the identity of being an artist is actually more important than whether you fail or succeed. You're saying, right, I'm an artist, I'm a creative person, this is more important than me, this is more important than life itself, my struggle. Right. And that's actually that sucks you in.
So you think you don't need the gratification of others?
You don't need any gratification. I mean, I know so many artists and they're all involved in that struggle, in their thing, whatever it is. It could be any kind of practice, or they could be dancers, they could be painters, they could be poets.
I think it's a good point. Is it? We could go over here.
Yeah. Just first of all to plug, I'm doing some spoken word in that bookend tent down there. So 5:20 tonight. Please do come down and watch it. And I suppose in the sense of that, this setup of a festival is designed to give a platform for people to present their art, whether it's singing or it's spoken word or current affairs discussion, that sort of thing. It exists for that, and there's how many tens of thousands of people who come and support that gratification. So just from our side of it is being here, we enjoy seeing all the faces looking back at us. That almost validates us, even though they haven't as opposed to a gig paid to see us specifically. So it's a strange one. We think, oh, look at all these people watching us, we love it.
So do you think we need more platforms for artists to come out to do things to make
completely? Yeah, completely.
Amelia's nodding there. I'm going to come to sit, Mikey. But what are your thoughts, Amelia?
Well, it feels like there's only 10 artists that people care about, and there's lots of small ones. No offense.
Oh, it got very chilly in here all of a sudden.
There's 10, and people.
Now hold up, no fighting, no singing. The two rules we have.
People pay hundreds of pounds to go and see them, but then small ones are so underrepresented because the top whatever, they're like taking away all of the attention.
So maybe we don't need superstars. Should we get rid of Beyonce? Should we get rid of Jay-Z? No, see, change them out. Get rid of them for another 100 smaller artists, or maybe just give them a small stage. You know, maybe somewhere down the road.
Don't get rid of them. Just give other people the same opportunities.
Right. Okay. So maybe we could have. It's Aiden, isn't it? Aiden. Maybe we could have Aiden at, you know, Madison Square Gardens instead of Beyonce there doing his poetry. 5 minutes.
5 years.
5 years.
Until it will be.
5 years until you're out there. See, it's not a possibility. Striving for success, making you happy as well.
This is the thing, mate. The thing is, like, this whole industry is founded on people who are desperate to make it in some way, and like making it is so arbitrary. Like we graft every day with the hope of one day having that, and it's something that's actually quite unhealthy.
Right.
I rationally know that, and yet I just still go for it.
So
it's
it
like
does.
a weird one.
Do you think striving for success really affects people's mental health?
Oh, well, I think that the popular artists are successful because they make popular music that obviously makes most people happy, but people, that's usually happy music, it's popular music, it's poppy major keys and everything, but like people wouldn't be able to profit if people weren't like sad. Like the Smiths wouldn't have they shouldn't have a career, but they wouldn't have a career if people weren't madly just thinking they were depressed all night.
So turning those negatives into a positive.
Yeah,
Mikey, our residential struggling artist at the back there.
I just want to ask Aiden, does he make it? You're a poet, yeah? Musician, but do you make your work to make a beautiful song, or is it to see all the happy faces in the crowd? What is the motivation?
Mikey, dropping the truth bomb. Here we go.
Mikey has stumbled upon the age-old dilemma of art. Like, obviously, oh mate, that is such a hard question. I suppose you start off thinking, I like this sort of music, or I like this poetry, I'm going to incorporate elements of that into my piece. But it wouldn't be authentic, and I wouldn't live with it. I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't something that I literally had to say. Like, you say stuff because you have to, and then you incorporate the stylistic elements from all sorts of different places in order to make that stuff. Because it has to be a certain level of familiarity.
Do you think about others while you're making your music? Because it's solely about yourself.
I do. I have to censor myself sometimes, like in terms of I don't want to say loads of things if it's like about a specific person or if it incorporates something that would affect other people. I've got to have a limit on that to some degree.
I think that kind of fits.
And it has to be kind of.
Well. I think like, did you make those boxes for you, or did you make it to see the faces on everyone else's face? What do you think when you made those boxes? Was it something? I'm going to come back to Aiden. I just want to see there. I'd spot on these guys, but did you think about how other people would see your boxes, or did you think about what you wanted on the box?
I originally thought.
I don't know where even to put this mic. Do I put it in the trunk at the eye? Where do I go?
I was really thinking about how I would like it, because I don't really mind what people think about what I create.
Right.
It's just that basically I just want to make sure that my box looks amazing.
So you just want to create the box that you find amazing, and by doing that, you made me happy. I turned it back for a second and you guys popped up, put a smile on my face, and maybe doing and following your own way, like Fleetwood Mac say, really does make you a little bit happier.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, but you've got to remember also, like, it has to be marketable, and to be marketable, as Daryl says, it's got to resonate with a certain amount of people, and a lot of people's tastes are based on familiarity to some degree. So like, you've got to make it slightly accessible and then different enough within those parameters to be able to.
But like Amelia was saying, maybe that just comes with reducing the superstars and giving other people a bit more of a platform. Like, he wants to jump in as well.
I think happiness is based on expectation. Like, when those box people went to their box workshop thing, they probably didn't expect to be able to be so creative, but when they are, then that makes them happy. And it's like, if you expect everything, then you're not ever going to be happy.
I've also got to apologise. I do feel like I've dehumanised you a bit, calling you the box people, so I am sorry about that. I will continue to try and remember your names and go back to that in a second. But Archie wants to jump in.
Just going back to what Aiden said about how.
Before you go, I'm going to get there. I want to get a final thought from you guys. It can be about anything. What you're doing next, what your favourite thing to talk about was, what we should talk about.
We're off to watch some music in the pursuit of happiness.
That is a great, and I hope you get that happiness as well.
To the red tent.
I just think keep life simple is the goal to contentment rather than happiness.
I think you guys have dropped the knowledge. Enjoy the music. I hope you pursue your happiness well. A round of applause to these guys. You've been great. There's some more chairs. Come jump in. Come sit down. We were coming over to Archie, weren't we?
Going back to Aiden's point about how popular music has to, like, because people like what they know. I was saying to Daryl the other day about how, like, we were like, what's our sound going to be? And we were like, well, do what most bands do, like have like a first album or like EP or something that's kind of, you know, not really you, but it gets you onto the music scene because it's kind of similar to what other people like,
okay.
and then go into what you really like experimental stuff.
So sort of like manipulating the public in a way, isn't it? Being like, I'll do a little bit to entice you, but then I've got you and I can do what I want all of a sudden.
Manipulation is the medicine for me, so.
Right, okay. God, there's so many dark truths coming out today, isn't there? It's a real insight. Well, we have some new faces. What are your names?
Stephen.
Stephen.
Scarlett.
And was it Scarlett, is it? Lovely.
Scarlett.
Scarlett, lovely to meet you. This is Talkaoke. Where do I start? What have we been talking about today? Success.
Can I ask you a question? Do you feel successful?
Do I feel successful? I'm going to flip that back because I'm just a man with a microphone. Do you feel successful?
Well, what I was hoping was like we could talk about what the actual criteria are for success, because I think that there's like obviously worldly success, which is quite easy to measure, and it's like by the sort of the criteria. People have their own individual ideas. Is it wealth? Is it assets? Is it a social media following, or whatever it might be? But maybe we can have a more holistic and optimistic measure of success, which is how many people have I made happy? How big's my carbon footprint? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. If we measured success by your carbon footprint as well, all right, that's an interesting one. What do you think? How do we measure success, Mikey? How do you measure it?
Beyonce's got a huge carbon footprint, so she must be very successful.
Right, okay.
But me, like, having made the Talkaoke table and seeing it work and seeing you, Will, in the middle operate with such adeptness in the middle, then that to me that's much more successful. All the money that I get for it just goes back into making more Talkaoke tables.
Right, so we get more. Now, before we come over, can we get a final thought from you guys? What are you doing next? Do you feel your boxes have made you happy? What are your thoughts? Get a final thought.
Sausage, bacon, eggs.
Sausage, bacon, eggs. Is that like a sauce or just a bacon and mayonnaise on a bread? Is that what makes you happy? Maybe, who knows?
Do you want to see my hair?
Yeah, go on then, do it. Look, I think that is a round of applause. Genius. Look at that, see, making your art, making people happy, making you happy as well. Thank you. Final thought.
Just express yourself and be happy.
Express yourself and do things that you want to do. Thank you. And a final thought from yourself as well.
I like bacon.
What was that? I missed that one. What did you say?
I like bacon.
You like bacon? I think that's a big one. Does bacon make people happy? Is that what we're going? Maybe that's the measure of success.
Doesn't make the pigs happy, does it? What?
Doesn't make the pigs happy. That is right. Okay, maybe it doesn't make them. We've got some free chairs. Come sit down. Come get involved. It's Talkaoke. I think. Do you want to do a swap in a bit? Do you want to swap it out? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get Mike in? I think the people have come to see you. Are you free to jump in? Do you want a minute? I'll carry it on. Do you know what? This is what I love about Mikey. His floral shirt is ready to go at all times. It comes down. Well, no, I've got to step my game up. It was this or lobster and chips, and I thought lobster and chips is a bit more of a sunny day activity. So we went for some birds. Yeah, you've got to have a funky shirt for Talkaoke. I'm going to pass that over. See, this guy, Sunday, tomorrow, you're going to get in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to be actively looking. We're going to be actively looking for new hosts. So, everyone's welcome to have a tryout tomorrow when we have our free form session of Talkaoke.